Nothing on this show is authorized by the Food and Drug Administration, and nothing said here is intended to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any disease. Contact your physician before starting a diet or exercise regimen, including supplementation. This is not medical advice and is for entertainment purposes only.
You don't know. You're going to find out.
Oh, man, that takes me back.
If you don't know, you're
How many flights did we do on that airline?
Indigo, we took...
Like 4 or 5.
Pull that microphone up to you.
You got to be like a fist away.
Yeah, I'm out of practice. We took at least 6 flights on Indigo.
Yeah.
At least.
And for those, welcome to the show, by the way. We got Uday back here. It's almost been an entire year since Uday's been here.
Yeah.
And a trip to India later. But when we were flying on one of their domestic airlines, Indigo, they would play that song every single time you boarded and every single time you got off.
Yeah.
And eventually, it just got stuck in our heads. We're like, we gotta have this song.
It's like elevator music,
Yeah.
but airplane music.
Well, we were playing it when we were on Air India.
Oh, bro, we were jamming. After a while, I mean, when you're flying at
Yeah.
midnight and we'd spent all day in India.
It's somewhat comforting.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, we were just delirious, so it was like...
Very soothing. I myself felt very comfortable because it brought you guys so much comfort. And so I was able to delegate for the duration of that flight any responsibility to bring comfort to you guys. I delegated it to the soundtrack of the airline. So.
Yeah, they do it on purpose, I think, to calm you down. Because getting on an airplane in India, I'll be real. At first thoughts, my first take was
There's the fear.
this is sketchy. I've read the news and I know airplanes have crashed here, and just the rest of India is so crazy. You're just like, why wouldn't airplanes be that way too? Just the roads, man.
Was your first domestic flight where we had to take the bus and then board on the tarmac?
Yes. Well,
No, that was in Changadar.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
Which-
weird. There's no
Chandigarh.
jetway that goes to the plane.
Right.
Also, we got Liz here. My wife and founder of Future Neutral Foundation.
Hello.
Liz came with us on the trip, so we thought it important that whenever she can give us some context.
Hands down, looking back on the trip, when I sized up the trip for my wife, you're the heroine of the trip.
I thought I was going to die a couple of times.
But you never let it show.
I tried.
Yeah, you were a trooper.
And
I
Ri-
got some zingers.
You were a trooper.
And Riz, a week after you guys left, I was back in Riz's office, and Riz could not stop raving about how you just kind of took the form that was needed. So when we were in that hot room and it was getting really hot, you just kind of stepped out and you were reading the book. We were doing a podcast for 2 hours, and you just kind of excused yourself. It's a very that's a quality that's very common in a traditional Indian wife.
I'm out. It's hot. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Your
hot.
second wedding in India.
God, that would be awesome.
Can we have a honeymoon first? For our first wedding?
Goa, guys. Goa's where you want to be.
That is where most people want to be. So, give everyone context. Yeah, we just went to India with Uday, and Uday was so generous to curate this entire trip of 10 days. How many cities did we see?
So we did 6 cities, 4 states, 2 union territories in 9 days.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
And
a lot.
Further context: if you roll back a year from now, the podcast we did, Uday said, "You guys are coming to India." And usually, when most people say, they're like, "Yeah, whatever, fuck you, I'll never see you again." No, we were like, "No, we'll go." And it took us a while to get everything figured out, when we could go. There was conflicts, and it's expensive to fly over there, and there was a lot of people we wanted to meet, but we didn't really know, so you had to put all that together. So it took some time to do all that. But fuck it, we went, we made it. And so this podcast here is, it's the recap. And just for anyone that's listening who needs further context, the whole point of us was to go over there to look at what the supplement industry is like in India, because a lot of our ingredients come from there. A lot of our components come from there. There's so many things about the origins of the supplement industry that happens in India, and there's so many more things to come that is going to be happening and coming from India. Where I think it was a really important story to go put eyes on. So we brought you back in. Actually, you just came, whatever. And we decided we'd do a recap on just like unpacking all of it. And we have a documentary coming out. It's 49 minutes long. I'm currently in the process of editing it so that it will be on YouTube. So everything that we kind of recap on here is there'll be visual context.
We're gonna have like a Suppworks docu-series of like these crazy travels to these different locations.
Right, and there will be podcasts associated with them. So like, for example, we're going to Panama this weekend to go do another one. And we're hoping to do more. We're looking at Africa and Japan, potentially China. So we want to make this a thing on Suppworks where we go and travel and we do this sort of pseudo business tour. What are you calling it?
Agro-tourism.
Agro-tourism.
So it's like, I don't know, like this is like our Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like our Anthony Bourdain parts unknown.
Right. And so, so India was our first take at this, totally on a whim. It was all Uday's fault. We didn't plan any of it. We didn't expect to go. My mom asked me last week, did you ever think you would be in the Himalayas? Like, I was like, hell no. If you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said, if I go to any place in the world, it will not be India. And here I am, 3-4 weeks after coming back, and I'm like,
Are you thinking about going back?
I'm like, I miss that fucking place, man.
You said that to me as you were leaving, which I can tell you. So this is a great episode because I get a chance to. I just got back a week ago.
Yeah, you were there for.
I'm back 6 days, and I missed you guys terribly. It took me a solid week to defrag and just like kind of realize like, damn, I was in the company of some really cool people, knowledgeable, but man, the way you guys leaned into India. So I have to use the word. You guys are so empathetic to the conditions. I mean, there's you weren't entitled. Oh, man, it's so easy to be entitled. You come from America.
I had a couple moments where I felt entitled.
Mostly in airports.
Okay, but
So with the triers, we'll get to that later.
yeah, man. Let me tell you about the triers. Tyshawn has been introduced to the triers.
Yeah.
We've coined them, and we were like calling them out. We were sitting outside the lounge, the Mumbai lounge, which you guys remember. That's where we saw, like, I remember
There's a
seeing
whole line.
12 people online.
They had their own line.
They had their own line of triers, and we just went straight to the front. But when you left, TK, you mentioned, like you're looking forward to coming back. You had like a very positive view on it, so I felt satisfied about that. But I remember when we were in the Himalayas or toward the Himalayas in Himachal Pradesh for the Berberin, and
Amazing.
you were just kind of overlooking, and you kind of had a moment. I have a picture of you kind of having like a Jesus moment.
Yeah.
It was really, really deep because you kind of blurted out the same thing. You're like, I can't believe I'm here. And then you kind of mentioned it earlier today that you were so present. And so I felt that you guys really got the maximum out of that experience, which, to be honest with you, should have taken you 2 or 3 trips. Like the first trip's supposed to be very hard.
No, dude, you you put us through it. It was awesome.
You definitely put us through it.
It was great, man.
But I did
It was
not.
Amazing.
I couldn't believe how. I thought I tried to give you guys enough R&R in the schedule, and then it dawned on me that I gave myself enough R&R in the schedule. But
Well,
I just
Dude,
There were moments, yeah. Like there wasn't much R&R, as you would put it.
you want to talk about a productive trip? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way we could have done more. Like,
Yeah.
it was packed.
Yeah,
My
you
wife
did. You put us through it, but like, I'm glad that you put us through it.
Yeah. Well, you guys really set the tone. You're serious about what you do, right? This is the first thing we want to do. Like, there's no doubt this podcast is a fun way to do serious things. You guys really love what you guys do. Joey, watching you play tennis, volley with Dr. Ritu Verma.
Oh man, I wish we got that on film.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why they didn't let us. But I have the whole audio. by the
Oh,
way.
man.
He wasn't actually playing tennis, so you guys know.
yeah, sorry.
They were volleying a conversation
Yeah.
that was very,
It's
it
technical.
was very high level. Yeah.
Technical as
And
fuck.
we
My
were-
euphemisms are really terrible for this podcast format.
No, that's fine. You're good. Yeah, and we'll give context to that. So, like, we went to a multinational conglomerate there in India. It's called Dabur, and Dabur makes everything. They're like
including pixelated labels.
they're like what's
Yeah.
yes. What would be
A lot of love for you guys,
They,
but
they set a lot of standards in Ayurveda.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
As far as like real, true, functional.
Trying to
conventional
give an
Ayurvedic
example. They're like
products.
the Unilever.
they're the P&G actually.
They're the P&G of Procter and Gamble.
They're in every
of,
business.
of India. So like anything that sells as a consumer product in like grocery store,
Supplements, toothpaste, deodorant, cleaning products, etc.
you buy that. Yeah, they make an Ayurvedic version, which Ayurvedic is.
Its own category of supplements,
managed by its own authority.
which is very traditional and very protective of.
Yeah.
So we learned that, and
Which actually will play into one of the obstacles to innovation.
Yeah,
They have
for sure.
some very arduous rules.
yeah,
that
you can't
protect
really
that.
cross over the supplements in the Ayurvedic category, even though some
They
of
don't
those
like it.
some
No
of those
hybrids.
ingredients are things that we would see in American products, where it's like they're very normal to see them in the same formula. There, it's like a total no-no. So it makes your formulating have to be more creative.
So for context, we're referring to Ayush. Ayush is the board that governs Ayurveda. And then there's FSI, which is overseeing the nutraceutical supplement space where there could be synthetic, natural, everything that's not in the Ayurvedic bucket.
And
There are
everything,
some things that can cross over and some things that cannot.
yeah, it's complicated. That's really complicated. Anyways, so we went to like the HQ of this corporation, which is like it reminded me literally of Walmart, because I've been to Bentonville to go pitch before, and it was like the Indian version of Walmart. Because if you go to Walmart, you think this huge company would have this like really badass headquarters with all this cool shit. No, it's shitty. It's a shithole. Bentonville itself is really nice, but when you go into their building, it's like it looks like a freaking Walmart.
Right.
It feels like a Walmart, and there's people in these little desks typing up, and it's all real quiet and super corporate, and no one wants to say anything, and obviously you can't have cameras, and like there's all these rules, and so the moment we walked in there, I was like, this is just India Walmart. This is what it feels like, HQ. But they didn't let us film or record anything in there because of the rules. We didn't know about them. We just walked up in there with cameras anyhow.
I called them out a couple of times. I'm like, you're probably not going to answer me directly because you're probably way too corporate for this.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was a good. That was necessary.
Yeah,
that was necessary.
And they sat us down in a little, tiny room, just like they would do in Walmart. And they bring you, people in, and they kind of drill you with questions. But then Joey was relentless, and I wish we could have recorded it
Yeah.
because
I asked this one. We were in that one room, like, and it's so strange because like they had us in a conference room. They bring in like 3 or 4 scientists and stuff, and then they like give us this presentation, and I'm just over here like they have a full PowerPoint with this product that they were making, and I like metaphorically I'm sitting over there with a gun to my head like this is the lamest fucking shit I have ever seen in my life. Like you're proud, you ran a fucking clinical on this garbage, like what the fuck? And I threw a question I get, was he a product developer, the guy that was straight across from me?
yeah,
And
he had a badass mustache.
yeah.
yeah, like asked him like a straight up question, and I'm like, look, you probably no, I didn't say he was corporate until after, because I asked him a question where it was definitely probing, and then he did like this corporate tap dance of not answering the question.
And what'd you say?
And like I was losing sleep, I had lost a lot of sleep, and I was just had zero patience, and I'm like, you didn't answer anything at all about what I just asked you. And I'm going to cut you some slack because I'm sure you're probably towing some corporate line over here. But, what are we doing here? Like, and like when it almost gave him permission in that moment to like open up about his own frustrations about what he has to go through there.
Yes.
And I think that like doing that broke some ice to where the entire conversation took a shift into the regulatory.
Yeah.
And that's where we were talking about Ayush, Fasai, these different regulations between Ayurvedic supplements and then foods is like an entire other category. And, you know, I'm starting to ask all these probing questions. Well, what about this ingredient in here? Why can't it be in foods? Why can't it be in all these other places? And he's like, well, my hands are tied because of the regulations.
Well, what was the preservative that you called out that they're using in the Ayurvedic
Oh, they have potassium sorbate in there.
potassium sorbate?
And it's like, this is like the most natural, you know, Ayurvedic thing.
And you gave them an option, an alternative. You're like, well, why don't you just use...
Yeah, you could use a mushroom extract and you could totally still say this, but you're over here like preaching the holiness of your natural product and it's got potassium sorbate in it. Like,
But they took it under advisement.
Yeah.
Like, they literally walked out of there with like, we haven't looked at reformulating this ever.
yeah.
This is the way it's
around for
been.
decades. What was that product?
Chyawanprash.
Okay.
Chyawanprash. It's like just a, you know,
The paste.
pasty product that you take every day when you're young, and
It's like a multivitamin.
multivitamin, and
It is. I said that it reminded me of the filling inside of Fig Newtons.
Yeah.
And we took that conversation from there to where like, you need to put this in a cookie.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Can you not? They're like, I suppose we could.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you should totally do that because
Yeah.
it would make sense if you had it in a cookie. It would make it so much easier to take on a daily basis.
Right.
And then they just kind of walked away and they're like, fuck, we should put this in a cookie.
well, there was the young lady that was next to him, who was really taking offense to the line of questioning, because like she's very institutionalized. You could tell right away that she's
yeah.
part of the institution. However, at the end of that conversation, there was no doubt she had a newfound respect for where you were coming from, because the cookie idea, like we introduced them to the Fig Newton. We kept saying figs, and they didn't understand until we pulled it up.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh.
And it's like, it's not quite a cookie, but it's not quite a cake.
It's like a blanketed breaded with some sort of filling.
And I'm glad I was able to provide that.
Because they're the way that they're taking this supplement, they're literally just putting it on a spoon. They're spooning it like peanut butter.
That's not fun.
No.
And it's sticky and tacky, and it's like this could easily be it didn't taste bad. It tasted good, I thought. So,
I underestimated that you guys would take so well to. I actually played it down. I thought it was going to be like too tardy or too.
There's a spice to it.
There's a black
Yeah,
pepper
yeah.
spice to it. Yeah, definitely. It's got a nasal
little tang.
clearing.
It wasn't bad though, but
No.
I could definitely like how we do kolaches, like fruit kolaches here, or
Yeah. Like just
yeah,
almost like put like a spoon of that in the middle of a donut or something.
yeah.
That could easily work. And we're going to go back to India, and I guarantee they're going to have that thing in a cup.
I don't know. It's a corporate. It might take them 10 years.
It wouldn't be them, but what would be interesting. So one of the things that I found, and I don't know if it's in my original visit with you guys, but I am a big believer that getting serious people from the American marketplace in India is vital to India fulfilling its promise. It needs external catalysts to break that system that's in place. Like there's too many scientists there that are not capable of thinking outside the box. And then you get
That's
a guy,
a theme that I noticed over and over and over.
and you get an agitator like Joe. He
Like
just wants to talk shop.
brilliant people. They just kind of lack the creativity.
Or it's been sucked out of them. Like these are institutionalized people. Like they're told PhDs. They're told like, hey, this is the rules. This is what we do. This is what you studied for. Dr. Ritu Verma, 23 years. She's right out of school, right in Dabur. She's never been anywhere else.
She's a firecracker, though.
She's a firecracker, but she's dynamic. She literally loves what she does, and she deals with international clients.
Yeah.
So to give some context, Dabur has a separate clinical research foundation that acts independently of the fast-moving consumer goods segment. However, they're affiliated because they're under the same umbrella. However, they act independent and they help brands with their clinical research requirements, which is right up our alley
Like
because
soup to nuts from South
Soup
Studies
to
to human
nuts.
clinicals.
yeah, and they do serious work. Like she is an absolute professional, and she reports. The two people that she reports to, Dr. Anu and Dr. Manu, who were unavailable, but she's their ace.
Next time we go, we need to talk to those guys.
Yeah, and they know. They're really excited about meeting you.
Next time you go, are you going to ask for the chubby hamsters again?
You want to talk about that?
So that was definitely something. So me and my line of work and like formulations and stuff, I read a lot of like scientific journals, and you run into some very specific types of what they call model systems. Model systems being like some sort of an animal that they do studies on in order to understand how it might work in a human. And in the model systems market, which is like this whole market of rodents that you can get, there are some that have cancer from the day that they're born. There are some that have like genetically induced diabetes. And then I said, do you have morbidly obese hamsters? And she said, yes. And I said, can we see them?
We were so close. She was so close to
If
showing.
she wasn't busy, we would have gone to Fat Hamster Town, and those would have been the cutest, chubbiest hamsters you'd ever seen in your. I guarantee that. Imagine like my 600-pound life in a hamster, can't get off the couch, can hardly move around, the chubbiest little cute thing you've ever seen. I mean, like, and when I'm sitting there, I'm reading about new fat burning compounds and stuff, and I'm like, okay, we have hypercholesteremic or obese hamsters, and you sit there and you're like, forget about the results of this study. What does this hamster look like? Like I have to know,
Right.
and I still don't know, but one day I'm gonna get to play with that chubby hamster.
Dr. Ritu, this is a warning and also a request at the same time.
And a fun time if you buy in.
Yeah.
Race them against each other. They'll do terribly.
Yeah. Crazy to just like break into that subject line.
They probably
randomly.
have rodent treadmills, which are a thing.
They seemed like they had everything.
They did seem like they had everything. And that would just be like the funnest day. Like, we're going to make this chubby hamster run on a treadmill. A hamster treadmill. It's not a wheel or anything. It's a tiny little treadmill. And they just do their thing. Maybe it's a real human treadmill that maybe they put like lanes of like 6 hamsters on. I have no idea.
Yeah. I bet you they have archives of so much valuable information that they've uncovered in studies that have zero use in that marketplace.
How many cool things do they have that are sitting on the shelf? That's the real question.
Right.
How
Remember-
much gold are they sitting on that they just don't know what to do with?
So that was a question I found. That was probably my greatest point of frustration in that one encounter was when we tried to ask, what do you got on the shelf that is on the verge of being popular or useful?
The next ashwagandha.
Yeah,
right?
and like they couldn't answer that in any satisfying way. They was just like
Such a lack of creativity.
yeah, and then at one point something was blurted out. Something was said, and it was like that was when the female scientist to the right. She wasn't saying much, but when she did say something, it was related to that. And at that point, we're like, yeah, that.
There we go. Reel it in.
Reel it in.
Let's talk about it.
And what else? What are they going home? That was what I asked her. I was like, what are you going home and talking to your husband about? What's the pillow talk? Remember I said pillow talk?
No, you said.
What did I say?
You said, we're not trying to get your secrets or anything. It's just us girls talking.
I got a reaction out of her.
Yeah.
That was the only time I think I saw her pulse.
That broke through to her, and she's like, "Oh, well, it's not that bad.
Just a bunch of girls, yeah.
Let's have a conversation."
Yeah. But I think that the American side of what we do, which is walk into a boardroom and not colonize, but we're here to stay a little bit.
We're just here to hang out and play.
We're just hang out and play. And
drop
so
your guard. We're not doing that corporate stuff. We're here to talk about provocative conversations that might spur innovation.
right. Mm-hmm. And we saw the reverse of that. Like this is not going in chronological order, but if you go back and think about when you sat in Bangalore with Good Gums and Karthik, we were able to see like how you guys related to these up and coming entrepreneurs who have yet to build a Dabur. They have visions of building a multinational
They
company.
got 100 times more hustle than the people in Dabur, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and this is a story arc in the documentary that we'll touch on is the fact that in India, the vast majority of the population is not baby boomers like they are in the U.S. They're people that are more like millennial aged. So you have a lot of like 20-something to 30-something year olds. Most of them have gotten out of college now. Most of them have higher education, right? So PhDs, doctorates, things like that. and they've now entered the workforce and started to become professionals. And you find that this culture that they've created is that they're not very much unlike our millennial age group. Like, there's a lot of people here that are entrepreneurs who want to start companies, who have that hustle and grind mentality, who really want to just go out there and make a name for themselves. But that's a large part of the population is that age group. And so there's this huge population of people that are highly educated that are now getting the ability to become entrepreneurs, which you talked about.
I feel like they're a lot more capable because they are the larger demographic. They have more fluidity in being able to hustle and start something.
They got more cultural leverage.
Yeah.
Whereas like here, we always have to fight with like what the hell boomers want, right?
But they don't have that.
Politically, monetarily, in all this ways. But these guys, and a lot of them that we come to find out, are inheriting their parents' or their family businesses. And so like these guys are now kind of getting to a coming of age where they're starting to step into a more executive role where it's like, oh, this person's being primed to take over. And some of them are like already doing it. Some of them are being trained into doing it. That was kind of fascinating because everywhere we went, there was that.
Yeah.
Everywhere we went, there was like someone who had like a son or a daughter or a cousin or something that was like, yeah, this person's up next. And then when we would get to talking to those people, we'd be like, oh, you're not much different than we are. Like the way that you think, the way that you operate, the way that you want to really push boundaries on things, not willing to take risks, things like that. They seemed all completely for all those things. And most importantly, they all saw the opportunity of what India is. And they saw that their demographic is emerging and spending. That's a big thing. Like this, what would you call it, upper middle class?
Yeah, so upper middle class would be 300 million people relative to what that means in India.
Yeah.
So, 300 million people in India are defined as upper middle class.
Right.
Spendable income.
Spendable income.
Out of a population of 1.4 billion.
This would be the equivalent of the people here in the United States that frequently shop at Target and, are willing to spend a little bit more money at, so-and-so retailer, or maybe doing their shopping online and buying things, doing a lot of Amazon shopping. There's a lot of that. But that's the biggest part of the population. I don't think people understand that. When you think of India, you just think that either people are incredibly rich or incredibly poor.
Yeah.
And you think that most people are incredibly poor, which there is a lot of that.
We saw both.
There is a lot of that.
On the first day, we saw those two kids, get your attention. They saw
Really,
you.
Chandigarh is where we saw it, going from that brick district to going to PK's house.
Oh my God.
The contrast there was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went way out of chronological order. So really, the trip worked this way. So we flew into Mumbai.
Yeah.
First day, and that first day was supposed to be just like.
We were supposed to sleep.
Yeah.
We did not.
Yeah. We were supposed to acclimate.
In fact, there's footage in that. I'm using the word. My responsibility is to help you guys acclimate.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to mean like a couple of minutes and then let's get out on the road. But that's what happened. We were right. We went back to the hotel. We got ready, and then we made our way.
I took a 1 hour nap.
Took a 1 hour nap.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was crazy.
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got out of the airport at maybe 3 a.m.
The plane landed, I think, at 2.
2. You didn't get out until 5,
Yeah,
4.
because of immigration.
Immigration.
Was just a
It was
mess.
crazy.
Yeah,
So when I greeted you guys, by the time we got to the hotel, it was 6. We were walking out. We saw the sunrise, right? We're trying to figure out the sunrise. We make our way to Navi Mumbai, which is about 40 minutes away. We're in the office. You guys haven't slept yet. You're eating your first meal before you even got a nap. Then the next day was Vita Foods.
No, the next day was the plastics.
Oh, we
manufacturing
went to
Pune.
Pune. Oh, Jesus.
So
that's
we
right.
got in the car from that first sort of like meet and greet in
This
Navi
Feb 9.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
And then we drove 3 hours to Pune, which
Pune.
is like the difference of driving from Houston to Dallas. Not the same distance, but the same duration.
Right.
Well, we all fell asleep in the car.
Yeah, that was a nice trip though because you got to see what was it, the Ghats?
Yeah, the
Western Ghats.
which is like this mountain chain that runs, north south all along the west coast of India.
Right. Which was dope. That was dope. I mean, I had always seen it, but I didn't know it. Joey knows so much about so many things. It's actually great to travel with you. Not gonna lie.
I felt like I was in a dream. I felt
Dude,
out
I
of
can call
body.
out so many things that you've missed being over there. Like, oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
So many cool things.
Yeah, I mean, it was evident. I mean, like, we're going to get to the chickens. I learned more about chickens than I ever knew. So much more for me to know. But when we left Pune, we had a whole day in Pune. We had a morning, and then we had an afternoon. And then we woke up in Pune and then did a long trip to Vita Foods.
Yeah, let's talk about Pune for a second, though.
Yeah.
Because we packed a lot in one day. That was one of the most draining days for me, because that was the second day, technically.
Right.
We woke up, we went and worked out, which they had a great gym.
We didn't really sleep much. So we were like, might as well get an early workout in.
Yeah, I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, I'm awake.
I did not work out.
Yeah.
I slept.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe
You
this
slept
is
in
the Royal Orchid. Was this the
Oh,
Orchid?
the
yeah,
hotel that we were
yeah,
at.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this was the
Yeah.
Orchid.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the place where you were able to go to the chef
Yeah.
and get
I'd like some
6
eggs.
sunny side. 6 eggs sunny side?
That was my standard thing when I would get like in-room dining or get like some custom stuff. I'd like 6 eggs, please. 6 of them. Because there's predominantly the vegetarian culture over there. And I also noticed that when they do have meat in their dishes, there are frequently bones with the meat. And I thought that was a sick, fucked up thing for people who do eat meat, because I think it's the vegetarian people trying to convince people not to eat meat by having bones in it. So eggs were my protein of choice.
Yeah, we found that. I mean, so what was your take on your once you were able to ask for what you wanted? How easy was it for you to get what you
That was
wanted?
the default. It was the default. Like, and you know, we had in-room dining at like just about like every Taj hotel that we went to, which that chain of hotels very badass. Like every Taj hotel we went to, I was getting eggs every morning just so I could load up on protein before the day, because I didn't know when I would get some again.
Yeah, protein there is kind of slim pickings, especially when you're like on the road, and mostly everyone that you're conversing and talking and meeting with is primarily vegetarian. That's the type of food that they're serving. So it's like you basically got your protein early in the morning at the hotel or late at night at the hotel.
But that was one of the other things we noticed, is that the diet in India is predominantly carbohydrate rich, and that's leading to some steering toward the direction of like type 2 diabetes and obesity, which is becoming a thing. But then like at the same time, like the way that country can just rip off any drug that they want to and just produce it and make it cheap and give it to all their people, like I'm sure like the whole Ozempic, Wegovy, the whole GLP-1 wave is going to hit those guys like super hard, where, you know, they're going to need high protein. And that is a market need that is coming, but it's not there yet.
Right.
Huge opportunity.
Yeah, it's still, and so, you know, in the days after you guys left, I was traveling with Tyshawn.
Yeah.
And just in 2 years, he visited the first time June of 2024. So in just about 2 years, the number of new entrants in that plant-based protein category, specifically plant-based, with what's happening with whey, it's inconceivable that can, you know, grow in India. So plant-based options are growing, and yeast protein is growing. That's a huge category.
That's why I think that Limna that we had that podcast with Yadu.
Yeah.
I think Limna could be like a huge smash hit there.
By the way, I sent Yadu a message.
You did?
I had to. His name is my name backwards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Uday Yadu.
It's
Yeah.
uncanny.
Yeah. They're like fucking Mandalorian fucking.
I just need him to
Names.
see that my name is his name backwards.
Yeah. And he's a good guy. Once upon a time, he worked at Ingredion
Yeah.
for those guys over in Canada
Yeah. No, I like what he's doing. He's got a job opening at his job, actually, at his
Yeah.
company.
for distribution of the protein and everything.
Yeah.
Just like about India.
Hey, Yadu, let's talk.
So our second day was in Pune.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get to the cool part yet.
Yeah. We woke up, we worked out, we ate a little breakfast, and then we immediately. You were flustered. I remember there was something going on. You had something going on. You were flustered.
Yeah.
And we had
My man.
the plastics company that I went to go see was there to pick us up. So they came and personally came to pick us up in their car. And they were like down in the lobby, and I didn't know what their names were or what they looked like. But you had talked to Sonny, who's our broker.
Right.
And
I'd been in touch with
Priesha, which I now know.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, who's this? I don't know.
It's kind of weird because like you're used to like kind of Judeo-Christian names and these Latin, language dominant kind of societies amongst Europe and the whole Western Hemisphere, and you're learning all these new names that you've just never heard before.
Yeah, that was actually really tough for me. You were good at remembering names, where I was like, I can't remember the name of this.
He kind of knows what they mean too.
Yeah,
Well, isn't that the thing with like the Indian names that they usually mean something?
Yeah, and I often will a little bit of a hack for me is I'll say their name, and if I don't know what it means, I'll go right into them. Like, I know they know what it means. Most people have a name that has some distinction. So I'll say, hey, what does your name mean? So once I do that, now I've got this recall that immediately I remember what their name means. I try to find that quality in them, and then wham, bam, it's stored. India really gives, and the thing about India, I actually came in saying, I think I mentioned to you, I was like, we don't tell people the hack, but the real hack is you ask people their names, because really nobody in India asks others, can you say your name again? Like, they're standoffish. They're like, oh, no one asked me my name. But that builds that rapport, that builds that relationship, and then everyone's just a human being. You being critical of those scientists, no one's been critical of those guys ever. They're the smartest people in their class every step of the way. They're the smartest people in the room every time they enter a room. And, here you come, you got this badass cowboy coming in with this mohawk. And little do they know,
His goofy ass cargo pants.
but they underestimated you.
They did.
Which is funny, right?
Yeah.
Because we're the ones who are supposed to underestimate.
That's the funnest part.
And you
And
surprise
he's got
them.
red freaking contacts
Oh
on.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was definitely on the first day. Like when we were walking around in Mumbai, because we just took a little stroll just to get a dose of what it's like. And I was wearing my red contacts, and I had to be freaky. Well, it was in the footage. Like people would just come up real close, and then just go away.
Yeah.
Because and you hear about getting stared at. Like if you're a white person in India, you're gonna get stared at. But like they're like, what the fuck?
They're like, no, demon.
Get a real close look, and then that was it.
That's the devil.
Yeah, they will pursue their curiosity.
Yeah.
That those two kids stand out because remember I told you that I would take those two kids right now and put them in some kind of academy because those guys know how to break open doors. Like they had no problem waving us down across the street, and calling us out, saying, "Hey," just grade school kids.
And I was like, what's the point? And they just wanted to come up and shake hands.
That's
and
it.
Figure out what the heck we were doing.
You were one of the most interesting things that could have happened to them that week.
And saying something in Mumbai.
Yeah, yeah. But that also showed, I think, something that I kind of want to highlight. You were there. You could have been shell shocked from the immigration experience. You could have been shell shocked from the long trip. There's so many excuses you guys could have conveniently just leaned on, but just again the empathy that you extended, I think that demonstrated why you guys could be successful, why we could be successful in India, because we're willing to tolerate what's really inexcusable, right? Like the bad etiquette on the plane. Like I am so over it.
Well,
Yeah, you were.
It's standard.
Yeah.
You can be offended or you can be whatever, but like you have to realize like you're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
This is the way that it is.
Nah,
You know what happened to me on my flight on
Uday,
here?
you leaned into the brown on brown crime and you went
All the time.
You went Western on some folks.
Yeah, you got it on foot. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, so what happened on my flight? I flew Delta here, and I had a wonderful person sitting next to me. She literally was like, I know she knew where my bag was. My bag was in the row behind us. I was like, oh, I'm just going to let you guys go. I'll get my bag. I'm still on India mode. I'm like, I'll let the crowd go. She's like, no. Just come. Step behind me. Get your bag. There's no She made sure I got out of there without waiting. I'm like, man, this is the exact opposite of what happens in India.
Yeah, everyone gets up
And I'm just trying to like correlate this to like, how does this how does this relate to real life situations? This was just a unique moment, but there's no way anyone in India is doing that for me.
No, it's the same way with traffic and like red lights and green lights and lines and lanes. And
But the opportunity in India
turn
is
signals.
in the nuanced relation. Like those people in India that will actually do something like that, they will shake the ground that they're on. If by me,
by being nice.
just by being nice, just by being courteous. Like I would, like when I'm with Tyshawn, even though Tyshawn's the big strong guy, I'm the one who goes into the lane. I'm like, all right, Tyshawn, like he doesn't want to rub it. He doesn't want to offend anybody. He's so big and imposing. Like he could hurt someone if he accidentally just bumped into him. So he's like, no problem, let him go. And I'm like, I'm the one who makes way for him. So I'm like, how do we translate that into opportunity on the business side? It's just being extra considerate of the consumer. Remember you were talking about like, hey, do these people even care about the customer? We should be creating products. If they don't care about the customer, then this Ayush Fasai rigidity, we're not getting the best products to the customer.
It's also B2B centric that you forget about who's.
If people acted the way they did on like a Indigo or Air India and like a United, it would get violent. Like people have shorter fuses, I think, in American Airlines because you're tired, you're ready to go, but you also have to have patience. Like if people jumped the way they did in a United plane whenever we were on our way home from LA, there was a girl. It's different, but it's also the same.
Right.
People don't act that way because you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
In the United States.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a fuck around, find out kind of culture.
Well, yeah, that was like one of the main things. It's like, you know, if more of these people got punched in the face, a lot of this chaos wouldn't happen.
But the thing is
that is
they've
the
been
way
so
it is.
punched in the face by life, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. So it's like, yeah, fuck around and find out. They're like, what the fuck can you do to me? Bitch, I woke up on a fucking street this morning.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, you're right. I haven't taken a shower in 2 weeks. It's like, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
You're right.
the passive aggressive. So one of the qualities that served me well, even after you. So after you guys left, I had to fend for myself again. I was like, oh man, I'm on my own again. I gotta figure out how to, do things diplomatically on my own. Whereas when I was with you guys, I was kind of like, all right, Uday, let's just deploy some professionalism. Let's just be real polite as much as possible. But the reality is India does make you morph into an alternate version, that needs to survive. So when you're on planes, my whole game is how do you get off this airplane without getting elbowed in the face, without a bag hitting you in the face? You know what? Just sit and be the last one off the plane. Like, it's the only place where I do that. And I have so much peace. And when I saw you guys handling all of this stuff with no training, I was like, man, these guys are pros.
Sometimes if you just wear a really sparkly suit and red contacts, nobody will fuck with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we put those suits on, it's like the whole demeanor of people around just changed.
Like the Red Sea parted. For
Yeah.
That was a highlight, man.
Yeah.
That was a highlight. I thought that
Felt like sultans.
I wanted to put you guys in Indian clothes from the moment we got there.
Yeah, we should have worn them today.
Oh man.
Oh man, did I even pack one? I don't even know if I packed one.
But I'm just itching for an excuse to wear that thing again.
Well, you're gonna have. We just got to crash a wedding in Sugar Land,
Yeah.
which
No way.
we said we
Wear
should.
that shit to Walmart.
Yeah. I mean, Walmart. You should definitely wear that to like NPA fly-in day.
Okay. Yeah. Go to DC wearing that.
I'll do it. I booked. You guys gonna be there?
I don't do that stuff.
Yeah, we digress. But
not my bag.
But I thought that the trip. So we were in Pune. We had.
So we went to the plastics manufacturing facility.
Why don't you just get on a soapbox about what that was like, with everything that you've done, that you've been doing, what it was like to see it in person?
Well, I was really nervous because that was kind of like my whole reason for the trip. Personally, like my business reason was that. The rest was all just kind of like side quest. But that's what made the flight and everything over there, like the investment worth it, right? From a business perspective. How do I put this on an expense report? Well, I went there to do this specifically. And so I didn't know what to expect because we've been starting to create relationships with people who want plastics now, custom ones, all over the place. Since I've been talking about it on my Instagram and stuff, people have been starting to ask me about it. And so it's like, well, now it's getting real, so I need to go put eyes on it. Because when I'm telling people, yeah, it gets made in India, they're probably thinking the same thing that I originally thought was like, oh,
Sweatshop.
it's being done in some, yeah, you see the YouTube videos and the TikToks, right? Like if you just Google it or blah, 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 you'll get a bunch of reels of like, you know, the street vendors and there's like, you know, they're like mixing shit with their hands and stuff like that. And so you kind of expect that it would look like that. That's just like what pops up in the American stigma. And obviously we're in Pune, which is like the manufacturing industrial part of the Maharashtra, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain this for the audience, but like it's an entire, think of like Houston or Dallas.
Yeah.
Take Dallas, but instead of it being a bunch of skyscrapers of finance buildings, it's factories where they're building shit. That shit that I made a statement in the documentary of like that little thingy bracket that connects to the compressor on your refrigerator. That's made there. You know what I mean? This piece of part for your car, you know, that like plastic thing that holds the alternator. Like this is where that shit's made. So, but you never think about that. Like, where do they make this one thingy? I don't even know what you call it. Does it have a name? You know, I don't know. But there are so many components that go into everything, you know, like from these pieces on this microphone here. They're made somewhere. And so when you're in Pune, you're there, like where they make shit. And so
they had a huge IT sector, then they had a manufacturing sector.
Yeah.
And we saw the 800-acre Mahindra plant.
The automotive.
Yeah.
But here in America, they make tractors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
New Holland and Caterpillar. But
Mahindra.
Oh, Mahindra, yeah. So like, in Pune, there's the headquarters for Tata and Mahindra, which are like that's like the Ford and Chevy over there. They're the domestic behemoths they make all the trucks, all the cars, and they do import a lot of Japanese stuff. We didn't see really any Fords or Chevys there.
Ton of Suzuki.
Yeah.
Ton of Kia.
But Mahindra makes a nice car, right? Like we were checking them out. We were like, man, I'd drive this here.
You sat in that electronic vehicle?
Yeah,
Karthik's car?
It's just as nice as my wife's brand new Mazda.
Yeah.
Like just as, if anything, I think it's probably nicer.
So these are, to give some people context, this is a vehicle that's domestically made. It's EV.
Yeah.
It's the luxury offset to people that otherwise might be buying BMWs, Audis, Mercedes.
Yeah, think of like a Mercedes SUV. What is it? A G, whatever, I forget.
Yeah, the GX.
Yeah, so like
Oh,
my
that's a
wife
Lexus.
drives a brand new CX-90 Mazda, fully flagship decked out, right? That Mahindra car was as nice, if not nicer, than my wife's.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect that.
It was 25, it's about 30% the price tag of a luxury import.
Yeah.
And what they did was, and I think this is a telling illustration of where India's consumer is. These people are ready to spend $150,000 on a BMW because there's a classification of status there.
Mm-hmm. We saw that.
But they also will be frugal and support India. Mm-hmm. Because there's a good vehicle. They didn't just buy the Mahindra vehicle because it's made in India. It's a solid vehicle. It's a good vehicle. It's got great torque, good pickup. I mean, you can move with it.
They look awesome.
They look great.
Yeah.
Like spaceships.
They look awesome. They look like Teslas.
Even the logo.
The logo was great. The branding on it's great. Yeah.
Branding.
So we're there in Pune where they do all this. And you got to kind of put it in context because it's also India. So it kind of just looks like, a bomb exploded on it in a way. We're like,
kind of.
There's just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
There's trash everywhere. There's people everywhere. There's cars everywhere. There's honking. And there's cows and goats in the middle of the road. And then it's like right next to this massively beautiful plant where they're like making stuff. So that's just a culture fuck. That's just a whole.
Tell them about the trash, Liz.
There was a lot of trash.
Yeah.
And no trash cans.
And no trash. Yeah.
cans.
Yeah.
I swear, Waste Management and a power washing company make billions in India.
If anyone would pay for it.
If anyone would pay for it.
But so we're there and we're driving through, and I remember the traffic getting there was like absolutely horrid because like, yeah, it's only like 10 miles away. We're like, oh, great, cool, like 10-minute drive. No, it took us an hour and a half. It took us an hour and a half to get there, which was grueling. And we get to the plastics facility, again, zero expectation of anything. I'm just like, I'm here. Let's just see it. Whatever the fuck it is, let's just see it. And we walk into this building, industrial area, looks like a bunch of like tilt wall construction like they have here in the U.S. They don't have tilt wall. It's a different type of construction, but same thing.
They use bamboo scaffolding.
Yeah, all the buildings look the same, right? Like they all look the same. So you get in there, and it's nice. Like it's a nice office building, and they've got nice offices, a nice conference room. Looks modern, right? Like looks like, not
Really
different.
well ventilated air.
One of
Yeah.
the odd things for me was like almost the ceremony every time we went to
Yeah.
a place.
Yeah.
Where there was a way of them receiving you, where, you had to meet everyone, and then they would bring you in, and either they would like give you gifts either at the beginning or at the end, and there was always like we have to sit down and talk and have tea first, like that was always the thing. Like, can we get you anything? And this brought to my awareness what appears to be like a remnant of the caste system, but also an effect of the 1.4 billion person population here. Is there is a role for everybody. And I look at this and I'm like, these are servants. There are servants in the office. There are servants at the hotel. There are layers of socioeconomic strata. And I don't know if it's also like part of like the Hindu culture of the devotion to service. That it is great service. It is annoyingly great service.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to nobody giving a fuck about me and doing everything myself. But when like we get out of the car at a hotel and you don't touch your bags until you're in your room.
Yeah, they
Because-
like don't want you to touch them.
No. And they don't expect tips or gratuity or anything like that because they're dedicated to service. They're going to take your bags out of the car. They're going to put them through a metal detector. They're going to take them inside. They're going to put them on a little buggy. And you don't see them until you're in your room again. And there...
Is that like potentially, Uday, like a safety thing as well? Like they don't really want you near your bags until you're in your room, or is that all service? Because with the metal detectors and like scanning them and everything, like do they kind of want to like get you in, get you up there that way?
The security is only up to the metal detectors.
Yeah.
But what Joey's saying and alluding to is making it a seamless experience to the point where the most entitled people in India are the domestic citizens who are used to this. We as visitors, like as much as I am an Indian, but I am an American, so I'm accustomed from New York, man. I'm accustomed to no one giving a shit about anything.
Yeah.
And when we go to India, it's like, whew, these guys actually care. They really care about making sure, even when it was like all of our bags were on one buggy and maybe we were in 2 different floors, they were like making it abundantly clear, like, hey, I want to make sure I get this right. This guy's an intern. This kid is like not getting paid. He's doing a 9-month internship, but he's doing such a studious
I
job.
have an opportunity to have a job to do that.
In fact,
Yeah.
it was one of those interns that recovered the camera.
Yeah, I left my camera in a.
We left.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and it was just because I had kept his number. So because I had pitched him Tyshawn, I was like, he worked out. I was like, yeah, you work out. I'll get you some samples. You on Instagram? He's like, yeah. I was like, here, follow Tyshawn's product, and when we have some samples, we'll send them to you. So I texted him on Instagram, like, hey, by the way, we're looking for this camera. Any chance you can? He wasn't even working that day. He went back, dug it up. The people on staff were like, hey, we can't find it. Because again, India has
It's a nice camera. I wouldn't be able to find it anywhere.
in the midst of all that hospitality, which I remember telling you guys, that is India's number one resource. Okay, hospitality. That is the component that is the reason to work with India, because they intrinsically have that. Atiti Deva Bhava, like God, guest is God. That is definitely a part of the foundation. So a guy like Riz, he made sure that, hey, Uday, I don't want you eating any of this paneer. It's all going to be adulterated, or I don't want you eating a soya from just some random place. I'm going to order you your vegetarian food. You trust me? I'm like, yeah, I trust you. So that was just him kind of taking ownership of me in that window. I was his responsibility. He made sure you guys got the required protein, and he
Got
made
great
sure.
food.
But he made sure to do it because that's his obligation. And he would do that for the next person, whether it was Tyshawn. He did the same thing for Tyshawn. You're not wrong, man. That hospitality is the asset that keeps us, I think, wanting to go back. But that's why we want to do business there. I know it because those are our partners, right? Imagine like they put that same love into the product.
Well, that's where this goes. Because
That they sure as shit do. Yeah. So yeah, there's the ceremony of like them embracing you. And then there's the sit down, the tea, the snacks. That's like a part of it. You got to do this like 1 hour sort of ceremony of meet and greet. That's, I guess, formal.
Yeah.
And then it was like, let's fucking see the plastics, man. Let's go look at the stuff. I want to see the plan. I want to see it get made. And that's where it was really cool because we got to go in there and it was the exact same GMP process that we see in facility after facility that we come here. You have to put on hair nets. You have to put on a coat. You have to cover your shoes or your feet, or in their case, they take their shoes off and have socks. They don't allow any contamination in their plastics manufacturing room. They don't want hair. They don't want any type of particulate to be able to get into a tub. They even pack it in its own clean room onto pallets so that particulates can't get in there.
It's remarkably clean.
Remarkably clean.
This is our first facility that we're seeing. You guys haven't even slept yet.
Right. Yeah. And again, I was
a good first impression.
expecting.
It was a good first
I didn't really
impression.
have an expectation, but I was just like, whatever. Let's go check it out. And I was like, wow, this is nice. It's not just. This is great, actually. Like I was looking around, I'm like, fuck, you guys got a badass operation here. You've got space over on this entire other section of the facility where everything is already roughed in with electrical and plumbing so you can grow. That is the same process, the same procedure with the same hookups so that there will be quality control. It'll be consistent. And so we got to learn about blow molding, injection blow molding, and injection molding, which are three very different things, but all the same, kind of, right? And so it helped me understand when I'm talking to people about these plastics now, the varying different processes, costs, time, economics behind all of them, now knowing this machine does this is how it operates, this is kind of like the type of tooling that you need. This is how much it costs. This is the labor that's involved in it. This other segment of machine specializes in these types of things. Maybe it might be a little bit more automated, a little less labor intensive, but maybe more of a tooling investment up front. And then there was like the injection molding, where injection molding, the tooling for the molds, way more expensive than the blow molds. But I got to see why, because it's fully automated, it's more precise, and you can do more volume of things faster. So it lowers the cost per item using that type of equipment, but the overall initial investment to get that mold made is more expensive, like 3 times the price. And I'd never really put those things together knowing this machine does this machine does this. They all have 3 processes. They all have 3 different pricing. They have different volume parameters associated with them. And they may make different stuff, like lids are made on this machine while tubs are made over here on this one. And now I know how that all works. Because prior to that, I was just like, make it, plastic people, Magic plastic land, where like you got machine. It's the same thing that people treat me with labels. Print it. Label monkey, press the button. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. There's steps. There's all these different machines. There's all these different specialties and artisanal parts that go into making it this way. And some of it takes time and costs money. And some of it could be fast and rapid, but it all depends on what it is that you're looking to get done and like at how much and how much it will it cost and how many do you need made. And there's a choice to be made based off of all those parameters. And I didn't really understand them because I didn't know how it worked, But when we went in there, they explained it. They explained all, they showed it to us.
Tour.
They showed it to us. They showed us the molds. They showed us the machines. They explained us the processes. They explained like the quality differences between blow molding and injection molding. Be like, this is a little bit more rough, and this is why. The injection molding is a little bit more precise. This is why. The tooling for blow molding costs this much, whereas like the injection molding costing this much. But if you just need this made, like a tub, for example, blow molding is perfectly satisfactory. And these are the quality parameters and the procedures and the protocols that we put in. And then they took us to their quality room. Like, they have a quality room? I didn't expect them to have a quality room.
They had a machine that detected how hard you would have to push on like the pop top on a shampoo bottle just to make sure it was just the right amount of pressure. that you would have to apply. So an old person could do it, a child could do it, a woman could do it, a man could do it, where you don't have to push too hard in order to get whatever it is that's in the bottle out of the bottle.
Well, just like with ingredients, they had quality parameters. So, like for them, it's the thickness of the wall, density of the plastic, the fidelity of the color, and how continuous it is within the batch, the weight, right? So they kept retains, just like you keep retains in supplements. Every couple hundred, they pull off the line, they take them into the quality room, they weigh them, they measure them, they put them on those calipers so they can get actual measurements on everything to make sure that everything is consistent throughout that manufacturing production process. And then they take that retain and they store it somewhere and say, this is flagship, right? This is what would you call it in science? Control. It's
Sure.
control.
Like your control group?
Yeah, this is a control. And then they document it. They would write it down, they would print it out, they would file it. Right. And I was like, did not expect that. I did not expect that at all.
What was your reaction when you saw the colors come out that you just sent them random Pantones on?
That was also like a very nice surprise because I wasn't expecting the color fidelity to be so good. I was expecting it to be, it's yellow. Yeah, like here's yellow, but like it's an off
There was
shade.
a yellow. There was a yellow that just
It popped. It was like neon.
Fucking insane.
It was so
Great for
yellow.
berberine in
It
there.
was like it glowed. Like I can't even explain that. And the green one was like, geez, we need to do a brand in yellow and green because this is so vibrant.
orange.
Even
got a little bit of this
so
right here.
vibrant, dude. Way more vibrant than that.
yeah,
I mean,
super
it
alive.
popped. Like
Yeah.
in design, you want color
Do you have a
fidelity.
set of the samples here?
They 2 days.
In 2 days?
The ship lands in 2 days. Then there's clearance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole process that I'm learning. It's not fast.
It's not for the weary.
It's not for the weary. But yeah, the color was amazing.
Yeah.
I was dumbfounded by how good the color looked. And I was like, that we can work with this. You know what was really cool is when Priyesha in her office, she had when they do a color change. So when they change colors on plastics, they basically melt these pellets into this tube system that then goes to the blow molding machine, and then this molten plastic goo comes out, and that's what they blow mold into,
It's like a
right?
turd.
Yeah. So
It's like it poops plastic.
when you change a color, you have to, like your bleeding lines on a car or a vehicle, you have to run all that color out. And then there's this period where the two colors, the new color and the old color, are mixing. And so you get two colors kind of creating this non-controlled color, which you can't like replicate. So every single one that comes out for about 1,000 units, which I didn't know it was that much, like 1,000 units basically just get fucking recycled.
Yeah.
Like they just burn those. They just take those, throw them away,
I bet you
recycle
can
them.
still sell those like mishmash colors.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Because they looked so awesome. Because they did a transition between black and blue, and it created this purple galactic sort of look.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's our tub, but that's not our tub. I was like, how did you get that color? She's like, oh, that's just a throwaway. And I'm like, no, it's not. That is an LTO. I was like, that is a limited time offer where somebody can buy 1,000 of them, and those are like, premium
rare birds.
rare birds. And I'm like, and they look freaking awesome, did they not?
Oh yeah.
They looked awesome. And she was like, oh, I thought they were pretty. That's why I kept one in my office. But no, we would never sell those. And I was like, please sell me them.
Right. You see, though, like the ability for American ingenuity, right? Seeing opportunity in mistakes, seeing opportunity in orphans.
Yeah.
Like these are orphaned bottles.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a home. They're just going to be tossed.
They're just going to toss them, recycle them, and turn them into recyclable
But
plastic.
you see a purpose. You see a premium there. And
Oh, yeah.
when you're in that factory, you see a premium facility, and even they're missing like some of the gems that are right underneath their nose.
Well, that brings me to another point, because later we went and had dinner later that evening. I'm skipping ahead. But what was crazy about that whole thing is they really wanted us to stay and eat lunch, because they're like, hey, we planned this lunch for you, and everywhere you go, they want to feed you. So they're like, we really, really want you to stay. And I was like, believe me, I want to, because this is my bag. This is why I came here. I want to break bread with you guys. But Uday has already got this thing set up for us to go somewhere else, and I'm not in charge of the schedule. And apparently, there's already a driver downstairs waiting to pick us up. And
In a Maybach.
yeah, well, I was gonna, kind of, you ruined it. But yeah, but yeah, we had to shuffle out of there, and they were obviously, I could tell they were like kind of, oh, you know, we didn't stay and eat with them. But then we go outside to get into the car, and Uday somehow finagled us to be picked up in a $250,000 Maybach, which I have never been in a Maybach in the United States, much less Pune fucking India, which didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a flex. Because like when we left, I think they were like, who are these crazy guys? Because at this point, I'd basically placed one small PO with them. You know, nothing major. Nothing's going to change their business. They're making stuff for large shampoo companies, you know, right? We saw the other companies they work with. So we was like, who are we? And then we're like, hey, nice to meet you. Got a split. And they're like walking us downstairs, and we're getting out there. It's like, oh, yeah, we're just going to hop in a $250,000 car. Peace. And then I think immediately they were like, who are these guys?
Unintentional, but highly effective. You know, one of the things to kind of highlight the packaging company, the mom, so that the family business aspect. This is your first introduction to what we saw. What we saw was a pattern. You saw like how many of these businesses are legacy businesses, and intentionally, like this was the gentleman, the founder of the company. I believe he was a mechanical engineer, if I'm not mistaken, or he was some type of engineer, and he put up, this is his fourth facility, and each one was progressively better. And in fact, when we left in the Maybach, we ended up making a U-turn. We ended up going another way, and then we went by one of their older facilities, and you could see that every facility of the packaging company was better than the previous ones. And what was interesting, I learned at dinner later that night, was the mom who was in the room. The mom was there. The mom, the dad.
Quiet, but she was there the whole time.
You know what? The mom was a 20-year purchasing. She was responsible for global purchasing at a personal care company that they're creating bottles for. I can't remember which company it was, but the one that they're supplying. She was a 20-year global. Like this is a corporate executive.
Yeah.
But
She had the fix in. She was buying her own bottles.
yeah, well, I mean, what's interesting is that, you know, how easily she just kind of blended into the background.
Yeah.
And like these family businesses, everyone kind of has a role. Priyesha is the daughter-in-law, boss.
Right.
Absolutely. She's a dentist.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, she quit being a dentist to do this.
and she was the voice of the presentation, and you could see like there's a certain professionalism that she's taken. She's like, hey, this is going to be my role.
She married into it.
She married into it. And she actually, you know, and so like learning about these, you know, we got to know a little bit about their story. We're putting it out there, but these such a lovely couple for 3 years, working 6 days a week, not having taken a vacation. And then they were going to go to Oman.
Yeah.
Just a couple of weeks later, which was awesome. We were celebrating for them because like you had such a great experience with them. Like they were so satisfied that you were satisfied. They lived for that. You can't do that unless you're a family business.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to elicit that type of pride.
Yeah, it was so cool because like the son, Ninad, like he went to school to be a plastics engineer, which I didn't know was a thing.
So he dropped out. So the way it works in India is you can pursue a degree and go do certain things, or if you know in 10th grade what you're gonna be, then you just go do it. So he went to university after 10th grade because he was capable.
He's like, I'm gonna run my
dad's business.
plastic business. Yeah.
And so why waste time?
Yeah, but what was interesting is he was kind of more of a quiet,
Super quiet, yeah.
Introverted type of personality, which you could tell like he's very studious and understands the science behind it all very clearly. And then his wife, Priyasha, was like more of the extroverted personality who was really trying to be more of like a sales type personality. She was making sure that she was doing a lot of good translating and explaining stuff to
She
us.
was a ray of sunshine.
Yeah, definitely.
She was the one who met us at the hotel. Well, they both met us at the hotel, but
Yeah.
she was the one who greeted us.
But I think this plays into a little bit. We were talking earlier about some of the footage that you've already started working on,
Yeah.
and the prevailing theme of how the modern woman in India, it cannot be categorized or described right now. She is evolving. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that is mansplaining anything about this, but what was your take on meeting these women?
That was very inspiring, and also because, I mean, Priyasha was close to my age, but the girls that work for you are young. Those are young girls that are budding entrepreneurs and smart, and, you know, it was very nice for me to see.
By young, you mean like 20.
Young.
They're not.
Yeah,
they're not like. They're
yeah,
like 7.
They're not 12. But they're
No
young.
child labor has
Yeah,
been
yeah,
broken.
yeah.
But they were young. You know, I'm old now, so anyone in their 20s is a child to me. They were 20-year-old girl, 24, 25-year-old girls, just, you know, making their way, and it was very impressive. I think it's always inspiring for women to see, hey, those girls can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important message to send 100% of the time, all the time.
I think it gets lost. It's not to just sugarcoat. I mean, there's a lot of things that in India need improvement, without a doubt. But when we overlook
Traffic.
yeah,
for-
traffic,
Any
but-
type of transportation.
or just even like civic responsibility,
Yeah.
right? Like civic sense.
Yeah.
Like people just don't have that. But what's interesting is the women do. Okay, like generally speaking, the men are the one who are clueless. Okay, it's the women in India that are really driving a better vision, a better quality of life. And then you start looking at consumer behavior. It's not lost on any of us that this discretionary income, there's a lot of women influence in that. You start seeing the products that are available. You start seeing certain companies that are like making certain products for the female demographic. Never been done before in India.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones handling the purse at home. So I think, like, you know, seeing
all those girls that you had that worked at your office over in Navi Mumbai, like, I think it was interesting. I feel like your influence is heavily on them because all of them are PhDs, aren't they?
well, their masters.
Masters are better.
Yeah, masters are better. They all got higher degrees.
Yeah.
Upper education.
But the point is, like, you're turning them into hustlers. Like, yeah, they went to school to, like, study science and everything, but that and you putting, like, a heavy sales influence on them really gives them, like, that, what I would consider, like, the perfect storm blend of, you know, a business when it comes to the sales side of things, and I can back it up with the technical side of things. And, you know, Boomy'd only been there, like, what, 18 months?
Yeah, so we had a former office manager that just got married. It's going to be moving to Dallas-Fort Worth in the next 3 to 6 months. And when she exited, Boomy took over that role. Now, who Boomy was when there was already a pre-existing office manager who was her classmate, so they were recruited. So Pune, to kind of go back a little bit, Pune not only being an incredible IT sector, it's probably like Bangalore, Hyderabad, and then Pune. Okay, then Pune is also a manufacturing hub for vehicles, but it's also a huge academic center. Okay, it's a pipeline for if you're building a chemical company, and you have your headquarters in Pune, you have access. It's like building a biotech company in Massachusetts, and you just
All the students.
Just students are right there. You got access. They're gonna just set up shop. So these girls come from highly accredited institutions. And they were, thankfully for the connections that the Suyash group has in Pune, they were able to just reach out directly to the administrators at these schools and say, "This is the role we're looking for. Go give us the best of your flock." And these are people that previously didn't have aspirations to be in sales, but they saw, like, wait a second, I can still preserve my education. I can still be a sound scientist, or I can still be sound in what I learned. But I can interact with people. They're going to give me the freedom to talk to people,
Yeah, I mean, they
negotiate commercial deals.
Practically run their own office, right?
It's
Like,
self-operating. And so this is, I think, another indication of early in your trip, you guys saw, what I was really happy to see was like you guys could see some of this bright optimism of India.
Yeah.
Like it's in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? Even though the trash is there and the noise is there and all the other stuff is there.
Everyone's too busy to notice.
Yeah.
Everyone's too busy to notice, yeah.
Well, that brings us to like the continuation, like leaving the plastic facility. We're in the Maybach, then we go visit the Suyash group. We stop in this restaurant in Pune, and then there's this guy who's just he sees like these three Americans come through the front, and he's just like, that's them.
Yeah.
And he's like, my name is Ravi.
The guy who had sent the Maybach was like waiting for us at the restaurant. Again, we'd never met him, so we don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, I was in the separate vehicle. He had sent two vehicles, knowing that the Maybach could only accommodate.
Us three.
Yeah,
The man had a sense of quiet power.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just walks up and puts his hand in front of me like he's going to shake my hand. I'm like, who is this small Indian man?
That's him.
Oh, this is the Maybach guy. Thanks for the car, by the way. And he's like, please sit and eat. And I guess that restaurant, it felt like it was only open for us. Because I didn't see, there was a couple tables maybe.
yeah, it's
It was late in the afternoon.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was past. But that's his spot. That's where I've been. He's taken me there, and he's brought Taishan there.
Great restaurant.
That restaurant was really good.
Yeah.
Whatever was it, like a cauliflower something.
Oh yeah.
It was so good.
That was good. I had him ordered
And then,
twice.
yeah, you kind of gave the waiter some hell. That
Yeah,
little brown
I mean,
on-
so-
well,
well, I
you
mean-
a little Western on that, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got a lot. You got a subdued Uday. I mean, I can tell you that there's no way India. You have to be a squeaky wheel. You have to be a squeaky wheel. If you just let things fly, that's how it's gonna be forever. They will be like, okay, we don't have to be attentive. We don't have to pay attention to the order. I think we had ordered something vegetarian, and I was like, okay, yeah, just bring another one of those. And then they didn't bring it, and I was like, well, what are we waiting for?
Yeah,
I've never seen such a well-composed display of passive-aggressive
dominance.
enforcement. Yeah, it's like dominance in my life.
Uday like put him aside and like schooled him on how he should do his
I'll
job.
tell you why you're fucking up. And after I saw that, I was like, I hope you don't talk to your children.
I hope I don't talk to them like that either.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it probably just went in one ear out the other.
Oh,
You know?
but it put him in his place in that moment so hard.
Yeah.
With like, without even the deed, like he would have probably been happier had you punched him in the face.
Yeah, no. But without a doubt, the
Yeah.
violence is an easier option. The psychological warfare is where I am well equipped. I'm battle tested in New York. Queens, New York has trained me well. But it's necessary. It's necessary, Joey. You kind of saw that when we went to Dauber, and you saw it when we were talking to even rickshaw drivers, or talking to some just vendors,
Uber drivers, big time.
Just like I mean, I don't know if you experience. So you wouldn't have experienced it as much, but you'll get a phone call from an Uber driver. It's clear, like once you've accepted the,
Oh, God, in
like,
Delhi.
yeah, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? I'll tell you where I'm going. I'm going to wherever I need you to go. That's where we're going. And because they want to they want to reserve the right to cancel the trip. I'm like, I'm not interested in this. Then they're like, oh, just tell me kind of where you're going. This is a conversation they're having on the phone. I'm like, just get to me, buddy. You see me on the map? Just get to that dot on the map, and we'll talk about it when we're in the car. Because this is a common thing in India. And like, they're not worried about, in India, these guys, they're not worried about 1-star reviews.
They don't give a
They don't
shit.
get- So
You leave an airport and there are seas of these men like sharks, like taxi, Uber, taxi, and like they're just like walking up to you like random, and there's like 75 of them, and you have to make it past the minefield of all these guys, like just repeating, like they will ask every single person in the group.
Yeah.
And they won't realize that we're on the same group, but like, what about you? Well, what about you?
3 white people walking together.
Do you remember we were at Bangalore? We were exhausted. Remember
Yeah.
Bangalore? That was a late flight.
Yeah.
And where were we going from Bangalore? I think
We
that
were
was
going to the hotel.
that
but
was
you were,
that was Mumbai. That was you guys are just here for 36 hours,
Yeah.
and we're already on a flight to Bangalore.
Yeah.
Like I think so. We were all shot. It was like 2 a.m, and we had to walk a little bit.
Yeah, it felt
And
like
do you
a
remember?
mile.
Remember, I asked. We actually went to the Subway. They were closed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And for
Fuckers.
sandwich.
I was like, finally something American.
Yeah. and
Sort
It
of.
was not. It
We-
just looked like Subway. However, they also had Pizza Hut and Popeye's chicken and all kinds of like crazy stuff that you wouldn't expect to have over there.
And then there was a guy that was like, "Here, I'll get you in a car," and he was like, "Hey, pull up how much Uber's charging, and we'll charge you that amount." And that whole exercise seemed fruitless. I mean, I did it, and I was like, just, do it for this price. He was like, "No, I can't do it." I'm like, "All right, see ya." And we already called the Uber. Uber was waiting for us, and we were gone. And if you remember, once we were in Bangalore,
Well, that guy at
It was
first,
smooth driving.
you guys agreed to a price, and he was like, "All right, yeah, load up." And then he pointed to this car, and it was like, "We're not all gonna fit in that."
I was like, "What are you
with
doing,
luggage?"
buddy?" I was like, "What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why are you even trying?"
It's like that's like a
the guy-
compact car.
Trier.
There's 4 of us, and we each have 2 bags of luggage,
I was like,
and you
"Dude."
got a Skittle, and we and you were
We ain't
like,
gonna fit in there.
and
Yeah.
you broke that man's soul,
Yeah.
having to tell him no like 20 times.
Well, like I asked him, I was like, "So take a look at us." I asked, and yeah, it is.
Yeah, you
I
were
mean,
brutal about it.
I am. I mean, I'm more aware of how. I
I
mean,
was proud of you in those moments.
Yeah,
I'm
me
proud
too,
of
me
myself
too.
too. It's you got to sustain yourself there. But
Yeah.
I definitely found a way to communicate to these people. So I have to say things less. Like I can say it once, I can say it twice, but I'm trying to make it better. I really mean this. I'm trying to make it better for the next American that they interact with, because this is the problem, right? The narrative of India is oftentimes the bad experience that gets told, right? We go on a podcast here, we're talking about how great it is. But this story we could easily, I think you were just using the word negative space. We're doing some design.
Oh, yeah.
Nah,
right?
bro, if you were not there, we would have been foobarred.
Yeah, no, you
Eaten
guys.
alive.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was a fraction of the agenda, if it was just 1/3 the agenda, and let's say there was an animal park set up and there was this and that, and I just kind of told you these are the coordinates, be here, Carl pick you up. It's
It's
India-
like babysitting, bro. You babysat us for 10 days.
I didn't feel like that. I definitely felt like I was hosting dignitaries. I mean that because.
I kind of felt that way everywhere we went.
Yeah,
To a
well-
point where it was like exhausting.
Yeah, and so one thing that TK mentioned, which is such a desi thing, DESI, which is the group effort to make decisions.
Yeah.
And seeing your like you just wanted to grab some food at Vita Foods.
Yeah.
And you're an adult.
Yeah.
You're totally capable of feeding yourself, finding food.
It's like,
finding
I got the $1.
Yeah, you were
The,
gonna.
the $1 it's going to cost me for a full, I'll go find something.
And we were in a magnificent convention center, the Geo Convention Center, the Ambani Convention Center. Like you can say like that's
world
probably
class. It's
world
all-
class.
Yeah. It's as good as any
The
convention
whole
center
place
you've been to.
smelled like roses.
The-
The entire
Yeah,
facility.
it's
There was
like the
no-
Wynn Resorts, but a convention center.
There was no doubt you were going to find food.
Yeah.
Yet, something about being in India even makes me the caretaker. I'm like, hold on, cannot let TK wander off by himself and accidentally feed himself. We got to do this together. So like, where's TK? Where's TK?
That's what it felt like.
And
I'm
then-
like, guys, I don't understand. You guys don't understand.
There's a whole mission to go find you.
I am eating myself right now. I'm so hungry, and I'm about to punch every Indian in my way as I get to food.
Yeah.
And you guys are sitting around talking about super fucking conductor, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't care. And y'all won't stop. So I am going to leave and eat food. And like, y'all would not let me.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we got to do this together. I'm
We
like,
gotta do
okay,
it
great.
together.
Then let's go.
Yeah.
And if not, then peace. And then you're like, no. You cannot do that.
No, we got to do it together.
it's like-
it was wild. Like I never
can.
even realized
I can do
how much of a thing that is until you brought it up, and I was like, yeah, that is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing in my family. That's a thing in
But
my
then you
house.
had to talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
You gotta
where?
discuss amongst the council here.
Where do we go and what
Yeah.
do we eat? And I was like, I don't care. Let's just walk this way until we see food.
Yeah.
And then when we see it, we're going to give them money and they're going to give it to me.
And what was it like? What was it? Do you remember the experience of getting that table?
Oh yes.
Oh, it was amazing because they were
All right,
like,
so we got to introduce Riz into the equation. Riz is a guy who builds brands. He's bigger in the bodybuilding community. He went to the Arnold.
He goes by Brandpreneur on Instagram.
Yeah, and he builds brands and stuff for India. He's got his own sports nutrition line and everything. He's a big dude. He is definitely, like, I would say 1 in a million in India because he actually lifts and he does a good job of it. And he's definitely an extrovert, an outspoken personality, and a main character, which was just an absolute joy because that's the kind of people we are.
Yeah.
And we're like, finally, one of us, you know?
yeah.
And it was also like a one of us moment because, like,
We didn't get to his office until the end of the trip.
yeah.
I know, but we met him at Vita
We met him at
Foods.
Vita Foods.
And that was interesting because, like, he already knew so many people at Vita Foods and stuff and was introducing us to a ton of people. Like, and there was specifically, like, he's like, Joey, I want to take you to this guy and I want you to introduce, like, and, you know, it felt like Supply Side West all over again because, like, it was so busy.
Literally.
And what a beautiful convention that was.
Yeah.
Like, compared to Supply Side West, compared to Natural Products Expo, it was a beautiful trade show floor.
Yeah. I liked the colored carpet.
Yeah, sleeping on Vita Foods is stupid. 'cause-
Well, it's in Formo.
yeah, it is.
It looks exactly like Supply Side West. It was just like a nicer building.
better.
Yeah.
It was just
yeah.
so much. It's so well lit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Good lighting. Yeah.
It was incredible. It was like if you wanted to go to the mall of ingredients, like that's what this whole thing had a vibe of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I decided to piece to get food, and then you guys somehow found me.
Yeah.
Like I could not get away from y'all. Like the moment I left, y'all were like, "Oh,
man.
yeah, he can't do that." So I felt like a kid on a leash, where y'all were like trying to reel me in, and I was like, "Look, there's food around here. I'm going to get some." And then, like Riz, like he understood the assignment. He was like, "Oh, TK is hungry," and I'm like, "Yes." And so we went into this area where it was like all reserved food, like reserved seating
Tables,
and
yeah.
tables at this little like food kiosk thing. And they were like, "No, you have to wait. You have to wait 40 minutes." I'm like, "Can I just walk up to the counter and order? You got like snacks and muffins and shit. Like, just give me something in that cabinet over there. I don't care. I just need calories." And Riz just like, he said, no. You sit there. And there's this empty table that said,
Commandeered a table.
yeah, it said
Now-
reserved. It said reserved. Let me finish the story. And the guy was like, "No, you got to wait 40 minutes." And Riz says, "No, you sit there, TK. TK, you sit down." So I sat down, like, this isn't our table. And then Riz sat down, and then this guy came over to, like, you know, like, shoo us and be like, "Hey, you can't do that." And he just went, he just shoot him
This-
away with his hand.
Like, I'm gonna flick you away.
He didn't even
like a
say
bug.
anything. It was-
Like, what are you gonna do to me? You're not gonna fuck with me. Like.
and that guy was like,
Nope.
"Okay." And he went and got menus and came back, and he was like, "What will you have?"
So when it comes to the triers, Riz is a great trier.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a successful
Oh,
trier.
yeah. He's a doer.
because
He's a doer.
He's a doer.
He believes in retard maxim, which he did to the finest degree.
Yeah, he was like, "No, this is your table now."
But you can't talk about Riz without Sweetie.
Oh yeah, Sweetie in the office.
We got to get the.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait for that podcast
Yeah.
to drop because that is going to be
That's hilarious.
incredible. Let's take a break for pee break, and then we'll come back and we'll get into the rest of this thing. That night to Bangalore.
But we had a 3-4 hour recess at the Bloom Hotel,
Which was very cool.
which because of you guys,
Very Japanese. felt.
yeah, very economical, very like, hey, let's just get in there. It's only barely enough room to just
It was enough room to charge the cameras.
yeah. But it does the job. And I
Yeah.
thought that it was appropriate because it you know, we stay in the Taj when it's necessary. Like you go to Bangalore, you endure a long journey, and then once you're in Bangalore, you have to deal with traffic. Like you're insulating your experience by choosing where you're going to stay. Like I have a whole philosophy on like,
You should be getting Taj points like crazy.
I mean, normally I would say yeah, probably. But the Taj is only applicable in these very stressful environments.
Why would you say that?
Well, because like you could get the same, like we stayed in the Marriott apartments, right? So we also had access to the Taj in Mumbai, but it wouldn't, in my opinion, that apartment setup was so ideal. I did it with my dad, and I was like, man, once you go in there, just feels like you're at home.
Yeah, the
Right?
restaurant was good too.
Yeah, and the restaurant was good. Now the Taj becomes something where like you get spoiled because of all the extras. Now
Yeah.
the Bloom doesn't have any of that, no frills.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had a cool coffee shop. That was great.
And they had the free giveaways, and they had the little fruit juice, and they had all this other stuff. Paper Boat.
Yep.
Clutch.
Remember that brand name,
Yeah,
Paper
yeah.
Boat, right? Like what Paper Boat is doing in India is dominating, bro.
Yeah.
They
It's
have
like a fruit juice and a little kid's like apple juice pack.
and it's for adults.
Yeah.
It's meant for adults.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I was clutch because I needed calories then too. It was really good to get.
So the functional, and like I took Tyshawn to a Bloom in Juhu, which is across from the Soho House, and I asked him, I was like, hey, like we actually were in a room bigger than the one you guys were in.
Oh, lucky you.
Which was crazy. I was like, oh, look at that, there's more leg room here. But what was interesting was in India using these places to stay in coordination with what you anticipate.
Yeah,
I call it perching.
I was calling
I'm just
it
gonna perch over here.
on the documentary. I refer to it as a day stay
Yeah, that's right.
because it's just a hotel that we didn't sleep at. We didn't stay overnight. We just booked it for the sake of being able to take our shit there, store it there, and like have a place to take a shower, freshen up, charge things,
Yeah,
and get away from it all.
yeah,
But I mean, everything's so inexpensive there. It was like, why not?
right,
Like you probably wouldn't do that here because it's like, oh, that's like $300.
right.
Where there it was like, no, fraction of that.
And I think there's
It's worth it just to keep your stuff there.
Yeah, there's another aspect of it where, and you kind of saw it, right? As soon as we get to a place, become, ingratiate yourself to the manager. No one makes decisions there other than management, right? No one is empowered to make decisions, so don't even bother. Right? Get to know people because it's a nice way to get good service and whatnot. But hey, who's your manager? And the first thing like, oh, why do you want to talk to the manager? I'm like, I just want to say hi, man. That's it. Oh, how you doing, sir? Yeah, so we're going to leave our luggage here, da-da-da. We want to do this. Now, they're very strict about, hey, we're only going to let 2 people in the room. But we already knew we had 4. So the name of the game was like, hey, listen, let's just let this guy know that we're harmless. We're not mooching.
We're not throwing a party.
We're not throwing a party. And we're also not just trying to be cheap. Remember, like, frugality is a thing in India, right? Like you try to, it wouldn't be unusual for people family to try to like figure out how to put 8 people in a room. But what we were able to do was just win their trust. It wasn't that hard. It was just like effort. And once they meet you, I was like, oh, look, these guys, first time in America. Sorry, Americans, first time in India. It's like, oh, welcome. As soon as that happened, they're like, oh, yeah. Second floor is where the cafe was. It was super easy access. Hey, everyone go upstairs, no problem. Can I get another key? Yeah, sure, no problem. So like, as much as there's that passive aggressive in me that comes out because it's there, you got to counter some of those elements. But then there's that other hospitality side again that shows up, and they just make everything
Well,
possible.
it's when that part fails is when the other guy comes out.
Yeah.
necessary, man. Super necessary.
Yeah, there's like this one dynamic where it's like everyone there is very frugal, like you said, and they're expecting these triers to come and try
Yeah.
to get everything.
Yeah.
Take every inch. And we were there like, hey, how do I say this with my sheer presence? I could buy everything here. Everything. Everything you see, I could buy it. So I don't care really how much it costs.
Right.
So just give me it because we need it right now. And then I think when you kind of made that clear, like, hey, these guys don't worry about like, oh, it costs this or blah, blah, blah. We were like, there is nothing in this building that is too expensive for us. So just keep whatever it is that you got coming is kind of like the mentality that you gave them. You're like, look, they're staying here. They're just going to keep their stuff here. They're not going to stay the night. But like if they need service, give it to them because they will pay, they will tip.
Right.
You know, we have money.
That's right. I was going. This is when I was leaving to go get the camera.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this was
You were
our
priming them.
That was like what, a 3-hour journey for you?
God.
It was
quite
an
a
hour and a
trip.
half. I mean, it was crazy. It was only like 7 miles.
Yeah.
14 miles round trip. It took 3 hours.
It's crazy.
But it was well worth it because that was the first time. I mean, you guys have been in the country for like maybe 3 days, 2 days, and you had your.
The only thing I was adamant about was because like you didn't let me exchange money. Because you didn't let me buy anything. And I had brought money to like be able to buy stuff, you know, and that's usually my superpower is like, I can buy shit, you know.
Yeah.
If anything is ever a problem anywhere I go, it's like, it doesn't matter because I will literally just buy anything.
Yeah, I can tell you that.
And you were like, no, I'm not going to give you access.
I couldn't let you get like 10% less on the currency exchange because like it just something in me it can't allow my
you're
own
so
people.
fucking desi, bro.
Yes.
You're so desi shit.
By the time you left,
You're so frugal.
when you guys arrived, it was 89. And by the time you left, 10 days later, it was 92 rupees to $1.
So it got better.
I mean, for us.
Oh yeah.
But the idea that, you know, if you had exchanged money at any other traditional place,
Yeah.
you'd have gotten 79. You'd have gotten 10 rupees less.
Yeah, but
And
10 rupees
I know.
doesn't
you
even
get like a piece of bread for that
doesn't
much?
even buy you a bubble gum
I know.
in the United States. So
But it's the principle,
so
man.
I was like, I don't care, Uday. Like we're talking about 30 cents difference here. I want what I want when I want it. I want to be able to show somebody more money than they've seen in a month and say, give it to me. Because to me, it's like $10.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck that. Give me a wad of cash. Let's go fucking strut. You know?
Definitely it's a flex in India. Like, you know, people will convert your cash like just using the money under their mattress.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. No one, what do they say? No one pays retail. You ever heard that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
everything's negotiable.
everything's
there.
negotiable.
Unless you're trying to buy a drone.
Yeah.
Playing a bad drone.
Which was a horrible side quest. It took the entire.
I can
That takes us to Bangalore.
Yeah.
So I can speak frankly here. So I was mortified at the idea. I was like, man, there's no way. I know that there's no way to convince you not to want that drone from that particular reseller, the one in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, you had identified. And I was like, man, there's no way I win that. So I was like, just not even gonna bark up that tree. I was like, we're just gonna try to avoid stopping. Like my whole play was like, let's just without it, this is before retard maxing.
Yeah.
I was going to retard max my way but he was so persistent. He's so doggedly determined. And I was like, oh, this guy.
I told you when Joey, like he plans his side quests,
Yeah.
but that is the main quest for him.
And yeah.
Not for everyone else, but that's just how when you roll with Joey,
You
there's
have no idea how happy I was when it finally happened.
there's always a side quest. And that it consumes his fabric of his very being.
But I knew this was like, it was just like a recipe for disaster because I was like, there's no way this is a legit guy. There's no way this guy, although he may have been.
I'm pretty sure Karthik bought it from the same guy.
You think so? I don't think so. I think because Karthik has his own people that deal with the actual hardware. So he had told me that I told him, I was like, hey, if you can do it, you can do it. If you can't do it, that was another thing, right? So
That's where the hospitality kicked into high gear again.
Oh my God, he was amazing.
the overpromising. So in India, one of the bad claims to fame, people that have had bad experiences over the years. So I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. One of the biggest issues has been vendors that overpromise, underdeliver. Right? Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. Oh, can't do it. Whereas, you know, a guy like Karthik, who is 31 years old and he is still super self-aware of like, you know what? I don't really want to prompt. He doesn't himself want to disappoint someone. He's like, let me see what I can do. Mm-hmm. So he put a couple of feelers out. But the thing is, a 31-year-old in Bangalore, his feelers, they're like people that move shit.
He's got people.
Yeah, he's got people.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
not,
you could tell like he came from like pedigree where like
right.
he's probably
He sends one message, and then that one message
Yeah.
gets sent to 3 people. He's
Yeah.
the guy that sends. He's the Ravi.
yeah.
He's the guy that knows how to get what he needs. But his ability to get it, deliver it, and then he had put so much pressure on the people under him. Hey, I made a promise. Now you make sure that you don't be the reason why I don't deliver.
I guess we have to explain this to the audience again. Like, Joey really, really wanted a very particular drone.
And you can't bring drones into the country.
You can't. So
But you can take them out of the country.
he wanted drone footage specifically for our documentary, even though I was like, hey, we can use stock footage. Like, it's people sell drone footage all the time. But Joey he likes drones. He's a gadget guy.
Oh my God.
So he really wanted this particular one because you can't even buy it here, right?
So that wasn't the case. It turns out you could buy it here. But the thing was, I couldn't bring it into the country.
Right.
And I wanted this one because it was way better for like cinematic shots. The camera was way better than anything else that I had. And it would pair up to my FPV goggles.
That's
and I
right.
could just use the motion controller and do things like that.
So you had already made this decision that you're going to make this purchase.
Yes.
But you were like,
I have to do it in the
I have
country.
to do it in India.
Yeah.
So the
Or-
whole time while we're doing this, Joey is like on his phone in all these like random marketplaces.
So Amazon's not a big thing over there.
No.
They have India Mart, which is a little quicker. And then they've got Blanket, which is another phenomenon of India, where instead of, Amazon Prime, get it tomorrow, or maybe get it by the end of the day, you get shit in 5 or 10 minutes.
So that was at VitaFoods. Someone got
Kartik.
got
Got
protein.
We were just talking about protein. He's like, I can get you some. And I was like, okay.
He's just beep, beep, beep.
I didn't take him seriously at all. I didn't want him to buy protein. And he just, on his app, and then like 5 minutes later, he's
Here,
like, oh,
here's your protein.
He's like, the guy's here. I'm like, for what? Your protein. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? And he gave it to me in a little package. And I'm like, well, that's awesome.
Fully branded.
Yeah. Like you just bought protein with your phone and within 5 minutes it was here. Optimum Nutrition's
We walked from one end of the building to the other and it
gold
showed up.
standard way. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that is amazing. Where was it at? Like how did it get here?
Yeah.
It's like these magic workers that are just behind the scenes, blanket drivers.
Ghost distribution or whatever it's called, like ghost warehouses.
They've just got any possible storage venue, like anything that's got potential storage capabilities, it becomes potential warehousing for Blinkit.
Including like people's houses.
Yeah.
Where they just get a ping on their phone. It's like, you have this item. There's someone in proximity. Pack it in the Blanket packaging, and a guy will be at your house in seconds. Like,
Yeah.
do it right now.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Which is another way people side hustle over there.
Well, so this is really what's interesting, guys. I'm going to give you a perspective. A native of India who's born and raised there. He's a stockbroker. He's about 45 years old. I was hanging out with a friend of mine who he went to college with, small little circle. But you could see that those guys, they look down on this whole economy. They look at these guys being just like
The gig economy?
the gig economy. Like this stockbroker, 45-year-old stockbroker, he was definitely from old money. Like his father probably ran the firm and just totally entitled, okay? But he looks at this, he's like, oh, these are guys just unemployed, and these are just, tech companies that are just using these unemployed people, leveraging them, and like it's a blasphemy, it's terrible for the country. Like, think about it, right? This is
the most impressive thing I've ever fucking seen.
right. And what is it? What about it? It's just that they get the job done. They're utilizing assets that are around. Storage spaces, people.
In America would not see that physically possible for somebody to order something so random and get it so fast, especially in a place that is so
But that's
chaotic.
that's a
Because our
testament.
population's not dense enough. Like, we don't have as many people in such tight places.
like we have DoorDash here, but still it's like 40 minutes to get food. Like
But
they
our
must get some-
unemployment, like we get lost sometimes, like we get fed all this information, but like relatively speaking, our country's unemployment is pretty low. You just don't have enough people laying around doing nothing. And in India, everyone's got a two-wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got a phone. They just may not have a job.
Yeah, they do now.
So like, wow, like this is just deploying all these assets into
You sent us footage of people on fucking camels doing Blanket.
Yeah, you saw that? I sent you that.
Yeah.
I
They
sent
will
you that.
Blanket anything, anywhere, on anything.
It doesn't matter. But isn't that
You
the
literally get it in a blink.
So
Blinkit.
So it's like what's missing in that economy.
Great name.
Is like if domestic citizens of India have a negative view of that, that's the lack of American ingenuity. That's my thesis is that
No, we need that shit here.
we
Blinkit is way better than DoorDash.
Yeah.
1,000,000 times better than DoorDash.
People have a negative feeling about DoorDash drivers as well and waiters here. Like, I mean, that's not exactly a new feeling.
I mean, definitely it's kind of sketchy. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
I mean,
am I going to get what I ordered? But it is
There's
mad.
something about getting it in 10 minutes.
That
That's
is,
pretty-
yeah.
that is
it-
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Getting the white monsters in 10 minutes probably saved me and Joey's marriage
A couple times. Yeah.
a couple times.
Because the predominant energy drink in India is Red Bull. And I don't like Red Bull. It doesn't have enough caffeine and it doesn't taste good. So we would have to Blinkit Monsters. And I mean, we're all drinking the new Ultra Punk Punch tonight. Really cool looking can. by
I'm
the
drinking
way.
Lost and Found.
Well,
Thank you very much.
This actually has a lot of India. This has a lot of India feel to it.
it's really cool.
Oh, dude, the pineapple monster in India was incredible.
Yeah, and that's a rare bird. And when I saw they had golden pineapple, I was like, "Oh, I'm getting the golden pineapple."
That was really good.
Yeah, because I hadn't had it in months and months and months, and that's classically one of my favorite ones. But yeah, like or if we were ever in an airport and they had monsters there, we'd pick them up.
We
in
bought
droves.
all of them.
Yeah,
We literally bought the entire kiosk.
But I found it interesting to see like
imported.
how we can rave about these positive changes in India and these the gig economy there and just in general, like just they have 10,000 offerings. I think Blinkit's got 10,000 product offerings. Like you can name it. You can get like a Barbie doll in 10
coffee
minutes.
maker.
Yeah,
Get a
it's
coffee
like
maker.
Amazon, but in 5 minutes.
And
It's really what it. But most of the stuff is smaller packaged,
right.
than large stuff. But like, still amazing.
And I think one of the hard things to reconcile is if you encounter, let's say, someone like that 45-year-old stockbroker who you're going to now do business with. And if that, like one of my main edicts early when I first came on this podcast was you got to go to India to first understand this and then go there and then try to acclimate and then try to understand, hey, you might encounter someone like that. And you can't break that person.
That's fine with me. That person's going to get, that's boomers. We deal with that here.
right.
We just call them boomers. They do boomer shit.
Yeah.
And they're the old guard. And
You just look past them. You don't even see them.
The sad reality is that the world has moved on from the moment that they retired. And there's new technology, there's a new force, there's a new workforce, and there's a completely different way of decorum of doing things.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to recognize and understand that, then they have stuck in that time. And that's totally fine. You can retire, you can get your money or whatever, live what you're doing.
But the show will go on.
The show has already moved on.
Yeah.
The show is a lot further past than we even really understand right now.
Well, one of the people
with
that we
AI and crap like that.
Well, yeah, it was one of the people we were talking about with Green Regimen protein. The idea that, okay, there's no way it can be a lifestyle brand to, this is what one person's thesis was. He's 45, 46. His manager, he works for like Eco Labs, works for a division of Eco Labs, major executive there. He's 51. So this guy's talking about his manager like every day. He has chai, which is standard, 3 times a day, but he has Parle G cookies. You remember those Parle G cookies? Like just super carbo-friendly glucose cookies.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that guy, even though he's slim, he's like, he probably has high blood pressure. He probably has all these other things because he just has a bad diet. He's like, there's no way in the world that he's going to be able to incorporate Tyshawn's product. I'm like, yeah, but that's not the target.
That's not the point.
That's not that dude that you're making decisions based on a demographic that is long gone.
Yeah, you ain't him.
We are looking at 30 and younger, 35 and younger. We're looking at people like Karthik. We're looking at people that are younger than Karthik.
Who is a larger population demographic with expendable income. That's why it is so much more important.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the opportunity is.
And I think
That's why I don't even give a shit about what that dude's opinion is.
Right.
Who gives a fuck? Like,
and it would be impossible for me to ever explain that to you until like now that you guys have that actual experience in India and you kind of see like, oh, I see all the good things there.
well, no, because when our second day in Bangalore after Sabenza, we even talked about Sabenza.
Wow.
Oh my God, this podcast going forever. But the second after we went to Sabinza, which Sabinza was awesome, by the way. We went out to that.
Sabinza could have been, man. If one thing for sure, TK, man. If you gave me a great opportunity to sit with Joey on that one, but I think you would have handled that. You would have seen an opening that Shaheen gave us where he was ready and willing to just...
He wanted to spill the tea.
Well, I want to bring him here. The problem with the whole setup was we're on fucking GoPros and little lav mics, and I just know from a audience standpoint, the people listening to this podcast right now, this is so much easier to listen to because we have good microphones, good cameras. We have a room set up that is quintessential. It's for all this. We have lighting. And then there we had none of that. So what could have been a really, really, really great podcast, not saying it wasn't because the subject matter was great, it's just really hard to digest.
He's got to be back in the United States. We got to invite him down.
So we got to bring him here and bring him to this.
Shaheen, we got to bring you here.
Yeah, like Shaheen was awesome. I mean, talk about a really cool story. And,
down to earth. You remember the point? Remember the part of the one of the things I remembered in the podcast where your eyes lit up was when I asked him, "So where were you living at this time?" He was like, "Yeah, I was I'm from Jersey."
Yeah.
Like, I'm from Jersey.
Yeah, the whole thing. It's like I went to Rutgers. It's a Scarlet Knight. Like the whole thing was like, his dad's building a company on 42 credit cards, and
I had
they're
anxiety
sleeping in an
about
apartment.
it. When we woke up the first day, you're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go see Sabinza," and I've worked on so many products where we've put in that logo on stuff. Right? What's a big one?
Bioperin.
Bioperin.
Yeah.
How many times have we put Bioperin on a label and had to put that TLA in the little logo on there? So this is something I'm very familiar with, but I really have no basis of. And so here we are in Bangalore, and I'm expecting India, and you're like, oh well, there's kind of a changing of a guard.
Another family business.
The founder has passed away, and we don't really know who the new chairman is, but we're going to talk to Shaheen, who would be the de facto new chairman because he's the son. But there's politicking going on because there's a lot of people who kind of want to fill that spot. And we were like, oh, I had some anxiety. I was like, are we going to just walk into a war zone where a dude who's really pissed off, and I'm thinking a guy from India. So I'm thinking some
Bollywood villain.
No, not even that, but yeah, exactly. Like some corporate Indian historical legacy type of personality that's incredibly traditional. We're going into this traditional global empire, which is going to be this large company, and we'll have the same Walmart sort of experience where we're talking to the coldest person in the world who's like, I don't give a shit about you guys.
Right.
And we're like, oh, we came all this way, and this guy is just shooing us off because he's got other shit going on. And so we weren't going to get anything credible from it. That's kind of what I was feeling about it. I was like, we're going to walk into this. It's going to be a nightmare. And they're not going to know what to do with us. And we're not going to know what to film. We're not going to have any content. It's just going to be a waste of a day. That's kind of how I felt. And then you're like, oh, no. Shaheen's lives in Utah. I'm like, what? He's like,
yeah, he just happened to be in India when we were.
Yeah, he's born in the United States. I was like, oh. So, he's going to understand us and what we're doing and all that stuff. And you're like, yeah. And I was like, oh.
I mean, he didn't just happen to be there. What ended up, on top of that, he left. He came to our meeting directly following their corporate
board meeting. Yeah.
Where, he obviously had...
It's a big deal.
Big deal. Yeah. And Homeboy was ready. He wanted this. He was such a gracious advocate for everything you guys are doing.
Did not expect that at all.
And I found it really relatable that he's just a dude. He's just a dude.
Yeah, he really is. He's just a homie. He's a homie for sure.
We could totally hang out with him.
He's a homie.
We could totally hang out with him. And he proudly loves the fact that there's a nuke named after him. You know that, right?
There's a nuke named after
There's
him?
a nuke named after Shaheen.
Shaheen Majid.
Shaheen. Well, just Shaheen.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a nuke named Shaheen.
Yeah.
So,
well,
one of ours or one of theirs?
One of theirs.
Okay.
Well, not even one of theirs. I think Pakistan has
a Shaheen nuke.
I think so.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not sure which country gets the credit, but what I love is that he's aware of it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like,
that's an American quality, bro.
Yeah, he's like, hell
that's
yeah.
an American quality.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. That's a cowboy in them, right?
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, bro.
No, he's a swinging cat for sure. Because when we showed up, there's this gate and there's guards and shit, and you're like, oh fuck. what are we getting into? You know.
But do you see the juxtaposition of the gentleman, although he was an incredibly intellectual, highly accomplished
Kumar.
scientist, the gentleman that was going on and on?
Kumar.
Oh, Dr. Kumar.
Dr.
God.
Kumar, yeah, just not our cup of tea. Like it's just. I mean, monotonous, drowning out. It's just a very academic approach to like presenting.
Yeah.
Where Shaheen was able to do the.
Well, I could understand why he would be in that position now, just because he had that sales nature where he can relate on a global scale to a lot of different people. He can talk with them.
So I believe he introduced himself as the global head of marketing,
Yeah.
a CEO / global head of marketing, which
Yeah.
makes him the chief storyteller.
Right.
And
Well, and also, you know,
Yeah.
when we were talking with Dr. Kumar, it's like we almost had to let him air it out.
right, there was no stopping that.
Because there was like he was talking about quality and all this stuff, and it's like, motherfucker, I'm at Sabinsa. I know
What's
you
really-
guys do all this shit.
Well, he was very proud of what he had. I mean, he engineered that building, which
well,
was very
when it
impressive.
got to the tour, like he lit up like a kid.
Yeah.
Like and that's what I wanted. I was like, you know, tell me about the fun that you had.
When are we
here.
going inside? Yeah,
Yeah.
It was too much. But I think like there's if you look back, there is a little bit of he's aware of who his boss is.
Oh
right?
yeah, and
Right.
he had to do everything to toe the line and make his bosses happy.
which he thinks. I think that many of these employees in India don't really know what their bosses want. They just do what they think their bosses want.
Yes.
I don't think Shaheen would have wanted like that, but he's just like, let him go, right? Like, let him go. Like, he's not micromanaging. But like, if you really understood Shaheen, you would have been like, hey, like, there would have been a little bit more of, hey, let's give these guys a little bit less of this academic.
well, he gave
Dr.
his
Kumar
space.
redeemed himself in the second half.
correct.
Yeah,
Inside
I mean,
the facility.
he definitely
Yes.
knew his stuff. Like,
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
without a doubt. Yeah,
But you see, like, I think the
hard for footage because he had such a thick accent. So it's kind of hard to make content that way,
Right.
But and make people like want to watch an hour of that. But like, as far as the subject matter, he was like an absolute top of his field. You
So
could
it's that
tell.
nuanced experience that I'm completely convinced that, you know, anybody that has a negative experience with an Indian company, they should always just kind of hold out until they visit the country, actually have some interaction, and then have some context.
I don't think that was a negative experience. I just thought it was not great for content.
Right, that wasn't negative because we were in person.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
imagine you had to.
I was
imagine your
glad.
first-
I was happy to have learned all that. I knew nothing about superconductive.
But how does that conversation work on a conference? Like, let's say you're a video call.
Yeah,
That just doesn't
That's
work.
why you need a Shaheen.
You need a Shaheen.
Yeah.
And his ability to, you know, I'm excited to see where that company goes because they're about to write a new chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're-
absolutely.
They're the legacy. They're the legacy brand in the industry. They're the ones.
They're
that,
very much a legacy brand as far as ingredients are concerned. Like they've been a dynasty for a long time, for like 30 years.
They set
Plus.
They set forth the path that many people were reluctant to take. So in the early 2000s, companies that were trying to do clinical studies, they just were like, no, not worth it. We can just sell commodity generic stuff. But like today, you see the
They have a ton of clinicals.
One thing
much-
that was really apparent to me that wasn't like on the forefront of like my psyche was just the overall investment of infrastructure that these companies put together to just make like one ingredient.
before they even see $1.
Oh my God. I mean, it's like years and years of development, years and years of paying and investing in high income scientists to develop multi-million-dollar plans to create multi-million-dollar facilities, all to test if this one thing will work. And it's like, you're selling what? I would have never thought to sell that. I would never thought to even make that.
What was the name of that? Was it the
Lactospore.
Lactospore.
Yeah, but like the superconductor,
It's supercritical extraction.
supercritical extraction, what they were making was an ingredient that they don't even really use in a finished product. It's to use for making.
Yes, so it's a precursor ingredient for the production of something else.
Right.
Okay, I would have never thought of that. That's not something that goes into my head at all. You're going to spend how many $1 million to make this? And they're like, oh yeah, this is a big part of our business. I was like, didn't know this existed. Didn't know that Say it again.
Supercritical CO2 extraction.
Okay, didn't know that. Didn't know that was a thing. And to go and see it was like, oh, whoa, there is a whole freaking facility built to do this thing that I didn't know existed. That apparently is critical to the making of a lot of
Certain drugs.
Yeah, certain drugs.
Well, Nisarga Biotech in Satara, which is located conveniently between.
We met them at VitaFoods.
They were actually the ones that they issued us the guest passes, so we were their guests at VitaFoods. They do supercritical CO2 extraction, and they got into it because the founder of the company was doing agricultural chemicals to help farmers with their cultivation and their farming mechanisms. So like he realized that there was just a gap there. And so they needed better things for the soil. So that's how some of these guys just enter the space and then they just evolve.
I don't know how you fall into that, but they sure as shit did.
And some of these founders, something to take, if you notice, these family businesses, but they found their way through. If you remember, was it PK who was talking about how hard it was to even do business? He had done his first. No, it was Riz. Riz was talking about how in the 90s he was using PayPal to import made in the USA supplements. And the economic structure wasn't even there was no way to do business. There was no lending. These companies that were built in the 80s and the 90s, they were just building it with sheer resilience. Just put cash together.
Yeah.
They put up a structure.
Like you said with Sabenza, they had opened up 30 credit cards.
That was nuts.
I was like, wow, whoa. I could never even fathom that amount of risk.
And if you remember in that podcast, I thought that was a telling story that, Shaheen knew from his father's experience. His first venture was with partners, and those partners kind of screwed him over.
Yeah.
So his lesson was we're just going to do this on our own. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something telling about that. He didn't quit, right?
Mm-hmm. You just found a different way.
You just found a different way. These stories, we only see what's there now.
Yeah.
We got to keep that in mind, that these companies are spawning other types of companies built with the same resilience, built with the same fabric.
Well, that was a cool thing about Suyash was Dr. Ravi.
Mr. Ravi Patel. Ravi Patel.
He was like, look, we don't do this just to be rich. We do this because all the people that we employ, we want them to be business owners. And we want to give them the personal authority. We want to give them, what would be the word? License. We want to give them agency to go off and do their own thing in the future. Yeah. And it's that's kind of an American thing.
Yeah.
The anti-competitive part, or is it more of a thing where you're I don't care if you become my competition because the rising tide's going to raise all ships.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that we preach all the time.
Yeah.
And you go to a place like Supply Side West where it pisses me off so much when people are so guarded about crap. And it's look, bro,
you're not special.
You make gummies, they make gummies, they make gummies, they make gummies. I don't give a rat's ass. If you make something good and you do it well, that will show. If you give good customer support, you make a quality product. But we should all work together.
If you recall, Shaheen had said one of the more controversial decisions he made was making as many of those research studies public.
Yeah.
Just publishing them. Just hey, let's let everybody know everything we got. Go ahead.
Yeah, shit. To me, that's such a flex.
I mean, it upgrades everyone's access, but it also I think levels the playing field in terms of hey, who are my equals?
Even so,
you can't be intimidated.
When you're there.
At the same time, I'm the kind of guy who's reading those studies and I'm like, oh man, this is really cool. I wonder where it came from. And I look at who funded the study and then I become a customer based off of that kind of information.
Exactly.
Right.
But again, when you go there and you see it, you're like, oh, this takes lots of years and millions of dollars. Who else is going to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like any old person's just going to come prop something up with zero effort and come and be your competition.
So I sent a video, the video you guys had sent me of the berberine. I was looking for the specific video that had the color.
Yeah.
And I sent that to someone because I was like, hey, I need you to look at this video. And I sent some other videos that I had of just the hacksaw just going to town and the machete. And I was like, just pay mind to the fact that this is happening at 2,200 feet elevation, and not to mention these are like local people. They're natives, and their wives are lugging major product. I mean, it's a whole different world, and like, you know, I'm not using this to negotiate pricing. I want you to be self-aware. Like, this isn't just coming off a tree. Like, this isn't just blooming. Like, this is
it's not like a commercial farm.
All right, so let's do our continuity from Bangalore to Chandigarh.
Yeah.
So we did our thing with Sabinsa. Kartik got me the drone. Thank God. Thank you, Kartik, again. And then we get on another late night flight to go.
By the way, before we leave Bangalore, we got a chance to hang out in Bangalore late night.
Yeah, at like a speakeasy.
At a speakeasy, which is one of the top 10 places to be in India. So Karthik.
Well, what was cool about that, and I remember asking you, I was like, hey, are like people promiscuous here? Because like I was noticing that where there were like women wearing like dresses and out dating, and like, you know, there was a vibe.
There was a vibe, bro.
It was a nightlife, like any other nightlife that you would have here, where there's people mingling and there's sexual tension where you can tell some people are like trying to like court people, right? And I was like, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I didn't think that was a cultural thing here, and I just did not expect there to be so many 20-something-year-old people at a speakeasy drinking expensive cocktails, nice, handcrafted, well-thought-out cocktails in this curated bar with, like, fucking banging music that I'd never heard before.
It's way too loud.
Way too loud. It was a nightclub. It was a nightclub, guys. Joey's didn't like it because it was too loud. But, like, it was like the music was good. And the drinks were good.
And we needed a cigarette real bad.
Yeah, they were all pissy because they wanted nicotine.
On my domestic flight, they stole my vape.
Yes.
It was a very crushing moment.
And
you went through that Mumbai security like 4 times.
Yeah, they were brutal.
An entire carry-on of electronics, probably full of like 28 pieces of electronics that I had to pull out of that thing every single time. Like, you have electronics? I'm like, yep. And they're like, put it all in the bin. And I'm like, can't we just like get searched over there? Nope, put it all in the bin. I'm like, okay.
How long of a line do you want to create behind me? Because there's going to be
this
one
is
now.
your funeral, not mine.
Yeah.
Every time though, you're just so compliant, man. You're so helpful.
We just had to get through.
We just had to get through.
Just had to trudge on through.
Even though I lost my vape. But yeah, like
We did the nightclub. Super cool to experience that. Unexpected. Funniest moment of the whole trip.
Oh my God. We're in traffic. And there's a lady. And she's a panhandler of sorts. And she has these little toys, these little light up yo-yo things. So it's got 2 strings. You pull the strings and it spins this little wheel. And it lights up. And she was at the window going,
Well, it made like a sound.
I hope we can like have like the picture in picture for this part, because she's out there at the window looking at TK with the biggest smile, and
it's nighttime, so it's like it's mesmerizing.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect for her sales pitch.
It was like when you're at the bottom of the ocean and that one fish dangles that light.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Just to eat you.
And you fell for it because you rolled down the window, which was the worst move to make. And then all of a sudden, like, she's telling you, she didn't tell you anything. She just kept doing it.
Yeah, she's looking into my soul.
And this was creepy because we all got sick after this.
I told him about the 100 and then the
Uday hands him 100 rupees, which is like, what, $1?
Reluctantly though. Like, so I actually self-talked myself. I was like, all right, they stopped being such a
You had
pussy.
empathy.
I had
You
empathy.
did?
Well, I was like,
For a moment
there, because I didn't want to be the one that took away all your empathy. I was
Well,
like,
no, you totally tricked me because you were like, don't pay attention. Then you give me 100 rupees.
Then I was like,
you rolled down the window, man.
And I was
of course.
like, well, no, I don't think I had the 100 rupees yet.
Not yet.
He gave it to me. I don't know. But I don't know the timing of it. But I was thinking, like, I don't know what to do.
right.
This lady is literally like an inch away from my face.
Yeah.
Some homeless witch selling toys.
That's exactly what it was. And I didn't know how to act. And you were in the back seat, and everyone was, away, and I'm
I
like
turned on my
there.
camera immediately and began to cackle like a chimpanzee.
He really did.
I felt a moment of humanity creep in. Even though I know they're rackets, like none of those panhandlers that are there in traffic are legit. They're all part of some kind of larger
Underground organization,
and especially the kids. It's
I'm
just
gonna pimp you up
unfortunate.
to sell light up yo-yo.
Yeah, it's literally that.
But how gangster was that lady? She didn't miss a beat. She was like 200. She was, she was
200.
lucky to get 100.
200.
But she was like 200. I'm like, yo, homie. I was like, oh, you just about to suck the empathy out of me. I'm done. I'm like, no way. I was like, let her keep the 100. Forget the toy. We don't even want the toy.
No, you didn't do that. You didn't say shit. I gave her the 100, and she kept on saying 200. I was like, I literally don't have any. Uday hasn't given me money this whole time. The only thing I had was this 100 that he gave me. I will give you 1,000. I don't give a fuck. It's like $10. Give me the thing.
You almost got away with it for $1.
Yeah, and
You could have just rolled
she
that
kept
window
on
up
saying
and walked away.
Two, and I was like, I don't have it, and he's not giving it to me, so I don't know what to tell you. And then I was just like, you know what? It's his $1. I don't give a shit. You keep it. Just go. Just go. And then
Reinforcements arrived.
There
was a lady with a hood and everything. She looked even more witchy than the first lady.
Definitely a gypsy lady.
Hands in prayer pose, walking up to the car. So it's like, oh, is she going to come bless us? And she's like, just walks up and then magically opens her hands and tries to sell us a packet of tissues.
Kleenex.
It was the most unreal
And then
moment.
CK like bows back at her like, oh, I'm just. He bows to her with his hands in prayer pose, and then she opens. She shows, no, this isn't. I'm not blessing you. I'm selling you fucking Kleenex right here, and he's like, no, I don't want that.
Have to go now.
He's like,
I was like, I don't need that. I got to go now. And then I rolled up the window. And then luckily, the light turns green.
Yeah.
Which, like, that doesn't matter in India.
Although
like-
in Bangalore it did.
Yeah.
Bangalore was
There
the
a
one
little bit-
place
a
where
little
there was
bit
some
more.
order.
Yeah. And so we just moved forward. And I was like, did that just fucking happen?
Wild.
the next day we all woke up with colds.
Yeah. We were like, oh, we got cursed.
Yeah, we for sure got cursed by that lady.
I'm so glad you got that on the GoPro.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were like, what the
I was losing it, man. But was it that night that we went to Chandigarh?
No. We went back to sleep. Then we did
Went
the
to sleep.
podcast the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
And
at
then
the
we got
hotel.
on the flight over to Chandigarh.
Yeah, that's where you met those young guys.
But that was a longer flight.
Chandigarh. So just to give anyone who's not familiar with the geography now, what we ended up doing originally, we had originally planned a trip to the southern part of India. We were going to be focused in the southern part. We're going to land in Mumbai, then come south and just do everything south. That didn't work out. Also, even we were going to go visit one of Sabinsa's farms. That didn't work out. So, Shaheen was super supportive. He was like, hey, why don't you just come to Bangalore, show you one of our factories. We ended up doing
We were dead
north
set
to
on
south.
farm footage. We
Yeah.
needed it.
Yeah, it really
which we
makes-
ended up getting.
It's going to
from
make the documentary
PK.
for sure, yeah.
But what ended up happening was we ended up going. We were in Mumbai. We went south, and then we're going north.
It's like a 2-hour flight south to Bangalore from Mumbai.
And then from Bangalore to
Bangalore,
Chandigarh
it was
was
like
probably 3 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah. The longest flight probably that we took.
Which honestly, all those flights were like,
Nothing.
Yeah.
they didn't really seem long. Is the difference? It's like Houston to Denver.
Right.
It's the same thing. Or Houston to like Bangalore to, or Mumbai to Bangalore was like Houston to
Little Rock.
Tennessee, Nashville. So, and then we went from Bangalore to Chandigarh, which is like 3 hours. But it's North India,
North India.
which
Near
is
the
a
Himalayas.
completely different vibe.
Yeah, we were at the foothills of the Himalayas.
Where Bangalore felt
We're in the Punjab,
Yeah.
as they call it.
Bangalore
right.
felt like Austin. Like it's modern, it's youthful, there's tech, like there's a little bit more aura there. There's, shit happening. And then you go to the north in Chandigarh where it was like farms.
Yeah, as soon as we got, if you remember the Uber ride from the airport, we
Yeah, I
went
was
through
like,
that
where-
small little
I didn't, yeah.
alleyway.
I was like, is there a city here? Because it was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, going through that road. And I was like, I don't see a city, dude. There's not a street light.
We're zigzagging through villages.
Yeah.
And you saw some cows, if you remember.
I was like, I don't know where the fuck we are, but I'm tired. So I hope we get to wherever we're getting to.
And I believe we were staying at a Taj there as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like again, like that you know, if we had stayed at a Bloom in Chandigarh, it would have dramatically affected our trip, right? Just having the luxury. Honestly,
the Taj is clutch.
the Taj is clutch. They know how to host you. They know how to take care of you.
But and Chandigarh is different because the way that they set the city up is it's all these grids.
Yeah.
Like all these square blocks, and at the intersection of 4 square blocks is a circle,
Roundabout.
a roundabout intersection.
It's a very British. So it's a union territory, which just let's like call it Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
or Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And it stands out because those union territories were often during the British Empire they signified certain strongholds, or for maybe the viceroy or whatnot. So those roundabouts are remnants of that British.
Yeah, it was funny how like they tried to organize the structure, but it was still so Indian.
Oh yeah,
So like
so desi.
yeah, like if you look at it from a map, and look down at like the geography and look at the city, like it's a rectangle. It's a perfect rectangle. And within that rectangle is like 120 squares, and each one is literally called a sector. It's like, I live in sector 7, which seems like some like dystopian shit. And it's kind of a dystopian town because when you go there, it's still like India. It's like, yeah, this is a town, but it kind of looks like a bomb dropped on it. And
That was a recurring theme.
yeah, so, but then randomly you would get to one area and it would be like, oh, there's like nice hotels here.
And we saw the mall like that.
Oh my God, nicest mall I've ever been in.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, so the Taj Hotel was like international. So when you go there, they have like food that's relatable. The rooms are nice, like they got nice bathrooms. Other the fact that you got to squirt your butt, which is something I had to get used to. Yeah.
I brought dude wipes. I didn't have to do any of that.
Well, yeah, I did that. I mean, I tried the squirt a couple times, but I was like, I don't got the aim for this. There's like a
There's
get a hose.
There's a science to it. There's a
Yeah.
science to
It's
it.
like a manual bidet that they have.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like the food you eat kind of just runs through you. So
You better get enough fiber or you're in trouble.
Yeah, you kind of got to go a lot. So that took some getting used to. But it was nice going to the Taj. The hotel was nice. We woke up the next morning, and I didn't know how far Mandi was. Like you'd said, hey, yeah, we're going up north, and like I dismissed.
5-hour drive.
It was a 5-hour drive.
A long drive.
There,
Every second of that 5-hour trip was felt.
and then 5-hour back. So it was 10 hours in this car, and you rented a car.
This was
It was too small.
How did you get that car?
No, this was just arranged by the.
What was his name? Our driver.
Sorry, Ramon.
Raman,
yeah.
Raman.
Who's
Good
gangster, by
job.
the way.
He was gangster.
I kind
He
of
was
felt
a
like
Sikh, and we found out who the Sikhs were.
yeah. He's the guy that
got my shades back.
found the shades. Yeah.
What a gang! I mean, that guy. He kind of had the vibe that like he was like he seemed kind, but like he might also slit your throat.
Or slit someone's throat for
you.
us.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say
yeah.
that he actually had Mr. Ravi vibes, and it almost like he just decided like midlife, I'm gonna just be a driver.
Yeah.
but I'm really a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he used to kill people,
Yeah.
and now he just drives cars.
I got the
feel
vibe
like
that he was like in the military, probably like actually trained.
I could see Quentin Tarantino building an entire story on this dude.
Oh, for
He
sure.
had the mustache. He had the hat. What do you call it?
He didn't have the turban.
He didn't.
No,
He didn't have
Oh,
the
yeah,
but he
yeah,
turban.
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah.
Sikh.
But he
Like
had
most
the-
Sikhs have the
Yeah.
turbans.
But he had the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You knew he was
And
legit.
he had the voice, like super
Deep,
low. Yeah.
super- and he also had the gangster. Remember, he just kind of he's like, "You guys want to eat?" And we're like, "Nah, we're good. Let's just keep going." He's like, "I gotta eat." So he just ate,
fucking
disappeared for 30
stopped.
minutes.
Yeah.
like this is like at the end of our return.
Y'all fell asleep.
I was asleep the
You
entire
slept-
time this happened.
Yeah, dude, this dude was just like, I'm hungry. Stopped, and we just
I
sat
was
there
so
in the
small.
car.
I was in the back with the plant manager.
Yeah.
and I'm just like, man, this guy's got to come back. What is going on? I was like, tell this guy to come back. He's like, I can't tell him to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to tell him to come back? You can get your throat slit by this guy?
But he was actually really gracious at the end. We took some pictures. He was really happy. He was a really supportive guy. But that van was organized by the manufacturer, and it was just like a tour company. He just hired a tour company, and he happened to be the dude. It was the only unqualified mode of transportation. Like, we would have been better off.
Unqualified? Are you kidding me? Those roads we were on were so treacherous, we could have died.
Let me rephrase. He was qualified driver, but the actual vehicle was not vetted. Like we would have been better off.
That vehicle should not have been on those roads.
Yeah, we were insane. We were on ledges that,
we're deaf.
Yeah, we were going up switchbacks into the Himalayas. So you go up these hills.
And these roads are also under construction, so they're building bridges and stuff where
Some
they
of
don't
them
currently
weren't really
exist.
even roads. Like, they were just trails.
I mean, I was kind of cognizant of landslides. I was like, man, what are we looking at?
fucked.
What are we looking
We would
around
have been
here?
so fucked.
And remember, like, there was a truck coming at us, and like we had to like kind of find a little nook and cranny,
Well, that
a
happened.
nook,
That happened so many times.
just like kind of tuck our way, tuck
Happened
ourselves
so
in.
many times where I was like,
I can't believe they'd fit 2 vehicles wide on that road.
This is going to be a head-on collision.
But I
For
think
sure.
Liz, on that was the trip that I think that could have that return leg that you could have I think that could have broke you.
Could have broke you.
But
She never broke.
You never broke. You never broke. Even when we were in the lobby,
I fell asleep.
you fell asleep. But still, man, that trip was.
And it was
that
really bumpy, and it's a lot of like start and stop. So it's like it's hard to
was-
sleep in this type of vehicle. And
You could try.
but the cool thing about going up there is I fell asleep too because I was feeling sick, and y'all gave me that like Dramamine or whatever. Y'all gave me some.
That's
medicine.
right. So before we started that 5-hour journey, we had a little bit of a late start in the morning.
Yeah,
to
we stopped
kinda-
at the pharmacy.
We stopped up at the pharmacy. We got some, and you saw how quickly they administer antibiotics.
Yeah,
And that's a thing in India. That's something that can't be understated. Medical practitioners in India administer antibiotics at any opportunity.
dude, I didn't even talk to the guy.
Here you go.
Yeah, we just went to the
And
counter.
and
and
I
bought
was
it.
I was like, no, it's antibiotic. And I was like, nah. I'm super reluctant to take that just because
Joey looked at it. He's like, it's good.
Yeah. And so again, like
Yeah,
you're
stock up on this.
Well, I took it and then I fell asleep. I didn't know it was a drowsy.
Right.
I didn't know that.
It was
And-
weird because there was a stimulant and a sleep aid in the same product,
Yeah.
but it had nasal decongestants. And I knew like drugs were pointless at this point because I was like, I can feel sand in the back of my throat
Yeah.
beyond my soft palate. I'm like, this is not an infection or anything like this. This is just going to be like days and days of my body just mechanically trying to get all this dirt out of my upper respiratory tract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause Mumbai air, I mean, like, listen, you
sucks.
guys, I mean,
Sucks.
we went to Delhi. That air was pretty bad.
Terrible.
An upper respiratory situation is no joke. Definitely
Yeah.
got to prepare for that.
So I fell asleep, and then when I woke up, we were in the mountains. So I went from like a farm, and then I woke up, and then Joey's like hooping and hollering about a monkey.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, we saw the macaques.
Yeah.
That's what
that's
what
right.
woke me up. He was like, macaque, and he's like, and I'm like,
Or
what?
a rhesus monkey.
And I
for
opened
people
my
who are
eyes,
monkey
and we're like in mountains.
savvy.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I closed my eye. I didn't even know I was going to fall asleep.
Right.
I wasn't expecting it. I didn't look at the label of the drug. You just gave it to me. I just popped it.
Yeah.
So I fall asleep, and I wake up, and then mountains and monkeys. And it was like being in a completely different planet within the moment of like a couple hours.
You feel like you're going to Shangri-La or whatever it is.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is like we went through Mondi, which is absolutely gorgeous, right? This beautiful, like picturesque town. with this-
Lakeside mountain town.
there's this river running through the middle, and there's these houses and shops and stuff built up along the ridge sides. And it's just like, it looks like a picture of something in Switzerland, right?
And this was on the auspicious day of Shivratri. Like, this was an ultra auspicious day. They were actually gonna, that 5-hour trip back before we started that trip back, they were gonna host us at a local temple, and they had like a whole thing prepared. But that was gonna be like an extra 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So it would have been like 7.5 hours before we got home.
So it's like this holy day. And when we ate, and then we picked up that dude, and then we went up the mountain, and then you're like, hey, we're going to stop at this shrine. I didn't expect that. I was like, we're just going to go see Burberry. What the fuck? It's a plant. You know what I mean? The shrine was almost the coolest thing for me the entire trip.
Yeah.
And you know what the coolest thing for me of the whole thing was when we went down there And then we looked at it, and it's like 1,000 years old. So like that's crazy. This thing is literally older than my country. I've never been in a place older than this. Right. And so that it was something spiritual about it. But then we went over to the other shrine. What is it, Shiva?
Yep.
And there was like a family there that was beginning to do a ceremony for a wedding ceremony.
Right.
And so they went in to do a prayer. You went in to do a prayer. And I was like, I don't know if I'm invited to do this, but I'll witness it. And then while I was doing that,
No, I was totally all about it. And like they have this thing called the shivling.
Yeah.
Which like Shiva's the sexy one of the gods. Like he does represent like the phallus. And these shivlings are like these domed rocks that are representative of Shiva's phallus. And you pour water and stuff on them. People touch them. There's all kinds of stuff that has to go on with these shivlings, and they're different sizes. Like the one that we were looking at was probably like the size of this monster can, but they get big. They like some of them are monstrous in size, and they're definitely what represents Shiva in the material plane.
Was it like for fertility or something? Or?
Yeah, he's got some fertility vibes to him, but he's like it's also like the same Plutonian archetypes, if you will. Of
so, like, if you can imagine, we're on the hillside, looking kind of towards the Himalayas, towards Punjab. The Himalayas off to the right, and as far as the eye can see, you're like in the mountains, and so it's beautiful. And this is really the first kind of place where it's like fresh air. Right.
Yeah.
We could breathe.
Fresh.
It was a nice day. It was cool, like maybe 70 degrees, breeze coming through. And you're in this like ancient place. And everything about it just felt spiritual, right?
Yeah.
And the people there felt spiritual. Like it felt meaningful.
So we went into Chandigarh and we traveled to Himachal Pradesh.
Okay, yeah. Which is like if you look on the map, that's like in the mountains.
Yeah.
To the north. And then this young man came up to me. He couldn't have been more than 25 or something like that. Yeah. Handsome guy, right?
Yeah.
Like good looking face.
Light eyes, light skin.
Light eyes, yeah. And he just started chatting it up. He was like, hi, this is me. And he introduced himself and remember his grandma, who was just like the oldest, smallest lady we've ever seen.
she was
in her
scared
life.
of us at first, probably because I have my red contacts.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely looked
Demonish.
like witchy too, right? Like, and she's like 4.
They were there for a wedding.
She's smaller than Liz. And her voice was like super high pitched, like incredibly.
So this was the day after Valentine's Day. This is the Sunday after Valentine's Day, which was also Shivratri. So the guy later on told us, hey, this is an opportunity for many people to get married in cahoots with Valentine's Day and the auspicious day, and Sunday's a holiday. Sunday's the day that no one works.
Yeah.
It was just like the perfect day to get married.
So we're in this magical moment that we have no idea about.
Crashing a wedding.
Yeah.
This magical moment. And this guy, he just talking to me, and he's like, that's my grandmother. And he's like, why are you here? And we were like, oh, for berberine. He's like, oh, yes, berberine. He's like, he knew what berberine was, but he didn't know like what we use it for. He was like, yeah, medicine. It's medicine. And I was like, yeah, they call it like
kinda.
nature's Ozempic is like kind of what they're marketing it as, and they put it in these pills and they sell them to, people who want like glucose. You can't even begin to have that conversation with this guy because to him it's just like, this is where I live. This is a normal plant here. And I know that it's medicine. And he was really kind and really soft. And he was just like a sweet guy. It was like this nice little conversation I had. And he was telling me about the wedding and his grandma. And I don't know, to me, it was just like, oh, that was just such a human moment.
Yeah.
It was just such a human moment. Here I am, literally other side of the planet, and this guy, he's curious about us. His English was fine. You could tell that he was like native there. Like this was his...
From the Himalayas.
Yeah, he's from this area. He looks like it. He's dressed like it. Looks completely different life that he's grown up in. But he was like, oh, you guys are with cameras. Like, I'm interested in knowing about your life. And then he like, for 10 minutes, talked to me about his life. And I was like, oh, that was just a human moment.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for this, but it was refreshing.
Yeah.
That was cool. I liked that. And
That's one of my favorite pictures I have.
I know. The picture's so amazing.
I have a great picture of you with him.
Because, like, and honestly, he could be like a model. Like, he just had like he was a very good photogenic person. So was the other guy who was hacking up the berberine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
That guy looked like Daniel Day-Lewis.
yeah.
Just like Daniel Day-Lewis, man.
Yeah, so that was all
He was 42 years old. And like,
Dude, I'm 40 years old, and I saw him, and I'm like, that guy has seen more days of hard work than I could possibly imagine.
right. And I think
Yeah.
that's the humanity that
it was so
you can't take you
like you
can't.
have to go there and experience like, oh, Berber, like you don't ever think about that crap. These dudes hacking this crack up.
I think the stories behind the guys who were hacking up the berberine would have been a really interesting thing.
You could
to
make a whole
get.
documentary about
Yeah,
those two guys.
Where do they go and like, after they're done?
Yeah.
What does their day look like? You know,
Yeah.
outside of just
Like I said,
Throwing machetes
Their
at like,
context of berberine is not our same context.
No.
Like they're just harvesting this thing that's native to their land. To them, that's like this medicinal traditional thing that they've been doing for 100 years. They have no clue about the plastic bottles that we put them in and put them on the shelves of GNC and how we market them.
one person was basically able to harvest 70 kilos a day. Like
That's crazy.
That's
It's all manual labor. They don't use
Manual labor.
trucks. There's not a plantation. It's not a farm. They're not grown in rows. They're out on the side of a hill growing randomly, wild, and then they go and identify it and say, that one's good. And they literally start hacking it with machetes. And that's how you get berberine. Then they take it down into a little truck, the truck's down to a bigger truck at the bottom of the hill, and that truck trucks it to wherever it goes to get extracted from.
Yeah.
And they were explaining the standard of how they let the berberine grow to like a certain extent, then harvest like half of it at the bottom.
They preserve the root.
They preserve the
It
roots,
takes
so it
like
keeps
7 to 8 years to mature.
going.
Yeah, so that was all crazy to me that there was like this system, and they were very well like acquainted with this. This is their life.
There was
It
another
wasn't a
gentleman.
farm. It was wild crafted.
Wild-crafted.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this in a meeting I had earlier today because we were talking about like the interestingness of like how this stuff just grows wild.
Yeah.
And
It's like mushroom hunting.
well, it's like they were talking about the difference between Chinese berberine and Indian berberine, and I go, they share a common border. I would bet that same plant grows on both sides of that border, on both sides of the Himalayas, just because the altitude and everything is right for that plant to grow. So like when you're talking about, well, I don't want no Chinese berberine. Well, it's like it's probably the exact same
What
thing.
Chinese berberine, and this is something that spending time with you, Joey, was not lost on me. It's okay to have synthetic product, right? Does it
Yeah.
work? Remember, I made a statement about. I think I said something in the Suyash group meeting about stevia, and I was like, I said something about it being an artificial sweetener or something like that, and you're like,
Stevia is not. but
stevia
yeah.
is not an artificial sweetener. But in my mind, I was like, I'm a victim of like the negative publicity on stevia, sucralose, like any, non-traditional source of
That's not sugar.
that's not sugar, right?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about what's the other type of berberine that's really popular right now?
Tetrahydro or
No,
dihydro.
The dihydro.
Yeah.
But the aspect
Yeah.
of the Chinese is this that there's an indication in the marketplace that there's synthetic being mixed with natural
Kind of like
to bring the price
Shilajit,
down,
like Shilajit.
like Shilajit. And so when you start looking at like, there's nothing wrong with synthetic berberine. There's nothing wrong with that. The dihydro is
Yeah, it's the same molecule.
But are you advertising natural with synthetic components?
That's
and
the problem.
That's the problem. That
Yeah.
you're misrepresenting what it is.
Well, that's why it's important to go there and tell the story, I think.
Right.
And we found out that that they had harvested like 120,000 kilos or something like that, but it was shipped in trucks from that mountaintop to Pakistan, where that's where they were doing the chemical extraction of it. But when you look at like the structure of berberine and the way that it would get extracted, and you end up with a berberine sulfate as the end product, but it comes from a plant. And seeing berberine sulfate looks and sounds synthetic, but it's not. The extraction process, you can get 98% berberine in a sulfate salt if you do an acid-base extraction using sulfuric acid. So there is a possibility of getting 98% pure berberine sulfate from a plant, but you can also get 98% berberine sulfate through synthetic synthesis. And one isn't necessarily better than the other because they're indistinguishable when it comes to the third-party testing we do at the end of the road.
Right. And that's why like the whole idea of what we were saying earlier was if you know the story behind it and you understand if your brand is promoting natural products,
if your brand story is built around that,
then you
narrative,
should really visit.
You should know.
Whether it's bourbon or anything.
And that's that's like the craziest part. Like if you want to be like, okay, well these guys are making it synthetically. There's not as much effort going into that as there is to these guys who are like 40 years old and it's a family business because they've been wild crafting bourbon for generations.
The government protects those locals. Like they make sure that no one
only the locals can do the harvest.
The manufacturer has there's a government representative that was there with us observing. Yeah. And he has to be the one that administers the rules and says, hey, no third party coming here, cutting these guys out. These guys live off of this. Mm-hmm. And, you know.
That's why I say it's crazy is because they don't really think about the plastic bottles and the pills. To them, it's this root that they know as historically medicinal. And so there's like this huge disconnection from the consumers knowing that and them knowing about the consumers. But yet it all starts there. It's just this crazy, to me, it was kind of wild. And when I looked up, I was like, fuck, like, God, this view is amazing. And you're just like kind of caught in this moment where you're like, I don't think anyone's ever done this.
Yeah, I took those headshots of those guys that were there. And, when you look at the guys that were wielding the machetes, you could see an innocence in their eyes.
Yeah, you could. I felt like a energy bridge.
There was definitely something there.
I could feel like like I bridged something.
Yeah.
I had connected a synapse of something that was not connected before. That's what it felt like. I don't know how to explain that.
And, as we're telling people about this trip, I remember keeping track of, I was keeping track like 12-hour increments. Like, hey, we're about 2 days in, 2.5 days in, 3 days in.
Yeah.
Recognizing that like, hey, we're about 4 days in now, close to the halfway point. And like, dude, how much shit did we just get done?
Yeah.
Like, this thing was like...
But it didn't matter to me. I was so lost in the sauce. I didn't even think about any of that. I didn't check an email. Like, I knew Ed had it locked down. Like, I was just so locked in, Like, what are we doing now? We're head on collision with this car. We swerve around it. Like, you're thinking about that. Or like, I ate some weird shit and I got to take a dump. I got to find a place to take a dump. Like, everything made you so present. You had to be so present in the whole thing where all the anxieties of life, like you're thinking of this, how am I going to pay for that? I'm going to pay this bill. I need to I need to fandangle this. I need to call this guy and I got to email this. You think about that all day, all the time.
Liz had that experience. I think it was on that trip to Mundy that we stopped off for breakfast. What was that?
Oh yeah.
You had your first experience with a hole in the ground.
Yeah, I only had one. I knew what to do.
Was it that was on that before the long trip, right?
It was at that restaurant in Mundy.
Yeah.
Yep. Where I got my fries with my extra spicy stuff on them that I
You guys
wanted
are
to bring
fearless. You guys are fearless at the same time. Like when it came to ordering food and like, we didn't do the street food. No. Thank God.
Yeah, we avoided it.
I was trying to.
We were pretty meticulous about making sure we didn't get anything.
I did. I would have liked some street food, like a little bit, like one, then call it. But
yeah, when you're up in Mundy and you have to use the restroom, like you're shitting it over a hole.
I just didn't. After the first time, I was like, you know what? I don't got to go that bad.
It's only a 5-hour trip back to
Chandigarh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but whenever we were after we did the berberine, and they were like, "Oh, like drink and eat," and I was like, it looks delicious. I would love to. I'm good.
Yeah. Well,
my regular toilet is too far away.
Yeah, you didn't have like an exit strategy.
Yep.
Us dudes, we just go piss anywhere.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So a couple of side notes I remember now. So when before we got to the Berberin elevation, you got to play with the drone.
Yeah.
For a fraction
Joey
of a moment.
All right, so
Joey got his drone finally.
And I had done some footage at the hotel where I was using my first person view goggles.
Even the night before, you got to
He
break
had been
it open.
toting around the country this entire time.
I was doing circles around that hotel and I was feeling so confident. We stop at this restaurant, which the people in their traditional clothes really was breathtaking. And I would feel like an asshole taking photos of these people, but they were so ornately dressed, and I don't know if it was like a Hindu thing or if it was
Shivat.
a Himalaya thing, but whatever it was, like they were to the nines, like the ladies with their like crazy nose rings and jewelry, and like it was really cool. And we're at this restaurant on the mountainside, and it overlooks like the most beautiful terraced farming that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, this is it, Joseph. And I put on my goggles, get the drone out, flop the props, turn it on, and I take off. And I'm going and I'm flying over these beautiful terrace farms, getting like the most awesome aerial shots. And it's surreal because, like, first of all, like, there's layer. And I don't know if it's rice or whatever it is, but like it just looks so geometrically cool. And I'm just cruising. And then like I pop my camera up and I'm like, oh fuck, there are a lot of power lines out here. Like there's no rhyme or reason to where these power lines are. They could be going to like 9,000 different places, but I'm just like, okay. So gain some altitude and I'm starting to go back to the restaurant. And I'm coming in and like I see my path and I'm like hot dogging it a little. I'm like, I got this shit. I'm going to blow everyone's fucking mind over here at this restaurant. And just,
you were just by your very fucking presence. You know that, right?
Yeah. And I'm coming back and like at the last second, I catch a wire in my FPV and I'm like, no, hit the reverse. And it was too late. And this thing clacks into this power line and drops to the ground and breaks the arm off. And I had this thing for 2 days and I fucked it up at the most magical day, the most magical moment. I could have been flying this thing like all over like the Berberine, farming areas in the Himalayas and getting these sick aerial shots.
It was such a Joey thing to happen.
Got one bit of aerial shots, ruined the drone for the rest of the trip.
I was just chuckling because I'm like, I knew he was going to do this shit. It was written. It was your path. The funny thing is what you did not see because you had the FPV goggles on, they look ridiculous, right?
Yeah, of course they do.
It's like, here's this guy in the Himalayas. It looks like fucking Elon Musk. And he's got this headgear on looking like he's,
Please don't call my husband Elon Musk.
well, he's got the look. You know what I mean? He's got the look. He's got the frame, right?
So Iron Man,
But
when
the juxtaposition was he was right. That tour bus of all those ladies had come out.
yeah.
So they were all in this traditional garb, and they were like children. And Joey is just like standing right next to him with his fucking handset and I was like, you are blowing their mind right now.
Yeah.
They're all looking at you like, what is this alien? And what is he doing?
you kind of look like Mickey Rourke,
Yeah.
the character from Iron Man when he's the villain.
Oh yeah.
And that was the vibe. Like you were like some cyborg.
Yeah. You were like in the zone and they were looking at you. You couldn't see them looking at you because you had the headset on.
No.
And I was looking
that's
at
what
them,
made it
looking at you,
comical.
and I was like, and then you crash it. And I'm just like, that was just hilarious.
And we left that area that day, and I'm thinking to myself, my red contacts and doing stupid shit like crashing that drone in front of that restaurant. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a small town, and rumors spread fast. How many people in that mountain community were talking about us being up there? Like from crashing the drone at the restaurant to going to the temple and doing the shivling thing and then going to the Berberine farms and then going to that little tiny, there was like the little cafe that we went to at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
that was cool.
Which that was a total
Turns
Anthony
out there's
Bourdain
convenience
shot.
stores like on a mountain where there's
Yeah.
just a dude making tea.
Yeah.
You're like,
Chai.
what
Yeah.
the hell?
Just chai on service, on call.
And I'm thinking like, part of it was intentional. Part of it was like, I want these motherfuckers to remember we were here.
Sure. Again, that's the American quality. I'm telling you, because you're so unabashedly honest about your identity. Like you're not shy. That's why I put together that graphic. You guys are so Texan. There's like even in America, there's only a few states that can states. Okay, New York City is just a fraction of New York State. New York State is nothing like New York City.
Yeah.
Texas has an identity in its own self. Like if you're from Texas, any part of Texas, you can kind of be like Texas pride.
Yeah.
And there's something about that kind of translates to you being able to go to India and be like, I want you guys to talk about us when we leave.
Well, if you notice
Yeah.
when a lot of people would ask, hey, where are you from? I'd say Texas.
yeah.
I didn't say I'm from the United States. America. I'm like, yes, Texas. No. I'm not from the U.S. I'm from Texas.
No
They would
different.
know.
There's a fucking
They knew.
difference.
Same, yeah, it's the same way I'll say New York City. I'll
Yeah.
never say New York. I'm like, I'm New York City. I'm born and raised Queens, New
Yeah.
York City. But that identity allows us to put, it impresses upon the people we're talking to what we're about. We're sending so much more than just
Yeah.
we're not just proud that we're from Texas. It's not about that. But like we're trying to establish a foothold in this relationship.
Yeah.
You wanting that entire mountainside to talk about you, it means that the next time you come,
Oh, they'll remember.
they'll remember.
Yeah, you were freaky.
And but that's key, right? Like, don't you see like you guys experiencing it the way you did? Like, I know I've said it before, and TK, you're
They'll
very,
be singing songs about us like 5 years from now.
they'll be
I don't
making
know.
a movie
They may have
about
forgot
you.
about us immediately. Is how I felt.
You'd be surprised. So the people at the facilities definitely did not. Like, whether we were at the packaging company, the bottling company, like we were in there, they don't see people like the way you guys were so inquisitive. You guys were so in depth. Like, some people just make a visit and then they're out. They're like, all right, we're out. We got other things to do. You guys were in it. You guys were involved.
That's what I'm saying. It was so present, and we need to wrap it up soon. But like, the last visit was with Chemical Research. PK.
We'll talk about them last because we've already talked a little bit about Delhi, but like
I don't know if we didn't even talk about Delhi that much.
talked about Dauber.
Yeah, when there was sun
Pier.
Yeah. I think Delhi, the number one thing to talk about Delhi, like, especially because we want people to be a little bit prepared, like from our experiences, like the air is terrible.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare for that.
But the people were so nice.
Yeah, the people are nice. But the air sucks, and the air,
yeah.
and it's a detriment to your health. Like if you have upper respiratory issues, like you really have to take it seriously.
In a detriment to the trip, we were pretty kind of worn out by that point.
Yeah.
I think, and we really had such a high coming off of the berberine, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, in PK's Magic Garden.
yeah. So
That's it.
we'll tell the next story and then we'll wrap up. But like the next day, after we drive all the way back, we wake up and there's two cars waiting for us, right? A BMW and Mercedes. Again, it's like, who the fuck is it?
What's going on here?
Yeah. And again, we have no clue. To a certain degree, it's like you like planned the super trip and you kind of knew like where the nuggets were, but we didn't know. So I'm just like, I'm going to eat and I'm going to walk outside and there's going to be a whole new day in front of me. That's my perspective. I have no idea. And we get in the car and then we go and pick up PK, who, again, I have no clue who this man is, what he does, what company. I didn't even know he was.
Another man with like silent, strong power.
I didn't know he was the guy, I didn't know. He gets in the car and the dude is dressed to the frickin' nines. He's wearing a 3-piece suit.
He looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
He
He had a perfect T-square.
had Gucci shades.
Yeah.
Like this guy was fly.
Baller.
He was fly as fuck. But he was super kind. This kind of humble guy.
Yeah.
And he was nice and immediately bought, energy drinks for Joey because Joey was already bitching about caffeine.
Right.
He was in a completely different car and he heard about it. He was like, nah, people, you guys gotta go get.
Well, the first
They like policed an entire shopping strip center to find these monsters, and they did. It was successful.
But
Yeah.
the first try was Red Bulls. No, Gatorade. The
No,
first thing
it
they
was
brought
some
was Gatorade.
random energy drink.
it was
Random energy
just
drink.
Sugar fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it just said energy drink on it. Definitely Indian.
And then I think you guys, if I'm not mistaken, you guys were kind of like, all right, don't worry. I'm like, no. Let's just let him know. Like,
Yeah, we were like,
this is
let's
the thing.
go. But no, you were like, he's
well-
going to get Red Bulls or he's going to get Monsters.
In India, there is definitely that squeaky wheel. Like, you just know, like, this is a dude that gets things done, like a Karthik.
Yeah.
Like, just tell him what you need. Like, when you're talking to the right person in India, you get exactly
he
what
sure
you
as
asked
shit
for.
did. And that's like a small side quest to the story. But like after that, we headed towards, what was it? What are you going to say?
Well, this is Brick City Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So brick world, brickland. We were driving to this thing, what was supposed to be this experimental farm, which I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Wouldn't have guessed that it was in the setting that it was. Because as we're going down this road, like we see like these ominous chimneys, these smokestacks. And around all these smokestacks are bricks. And it's like, oh, they fucking make bricks here. I wonder how they do that.
Everything's red.
And we
the
start
ground is red.
going into these brick factories. And then we find out there's a grid of brick factories, like all in this like multiple acres and acres and acres of where these bricks are produced. Like probably half a dozen areas where they have the smokestacks where the bricks get cooked before they get put in a pile or like a lovely stack.
It's this little
'Cause
stack.
they were perfectly stacked. And
It's like someone on a Blair Witch project.
then like we see how the bricks are made, and the bricks are made by these families that God knows how many generations they've been doing this. They take the dirt of the ground, which is like part dirt, part sand. They mix it with water or clay, and they put it into these forms, and they settle it down into these forms until it makes a perfect brick, and they pull the form off. And then they go make another brick. And then they go make another brick. And they're just going layers down into the sediment until they run out of clay. And this is their life. Like they're out there and the sky is clear, not a cloud to be seen. The
Beautiful
sun is
day.
coming down.
Beautiful day.
And
The funny thing is, we're just driving through this trying to get to the place. So
I thought we were lost.
I thought we were lost too. I'm like, why are we in Brickland?
So we were like 0.2 of a mile away, but they were doing construction on that particular part of the road, and that's what resulted in us kind of taking the detour.
Detouring.
I would have loved your commentary about Brick World, like while we were, because it was just me and Joey by ourselves, and you were in a different car. I was like, man, I really want to know what TK's saying right now.
I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there was definitely.
And there's like little naked kids running around. I was
Yeah.
like, there's a wiener. There it goes.
And this was their life. And you
Yeah.
you knew that they did not make a lot of money. And it's almost like
They literally lived in little brick shacks they made there on the
this is
property.
like the level above being homeless or in prison. Like
Yeah.
this, if you're making bricks in the sun,
The juxtaposition
caste
was
system for
we
you.
were in like a $120,000 BMW, like rolling through dirt everywhere, dust, like just kicking up dust everywhere. And we're like, we're not even on a road. I'm like, where the fuck are we?
literally
There's
saw
no road here. We're in the middle of Brick World. There's a naked kid.
and a goat tied up in their front yard.
This is not an experimental farm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like at that point, I was like, I wonder what this is gonna be like. Like, is this gonna be one of those oversold promises?
No, we were just like,
we roll up to a gate.
I was emotionally checked out. I was just like, we're with fucking Gucci Suit Man.
I thought we were gonna get. I thought we might be getting killed or kidnapped at one point. I was
Now,
like,
some context is one thing I did know was it was Dr. Anand Swaroop of CFAM that
Yeah.
had coordinated this tour,
Who's legit?
and knowing who had set this up, I was like, man, this
Dr. Anand's a bad
is a
motherfucker.
bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get to this gate randomly, Brick World, come to a gate. Joe.
It opens, the cars pull in, and it's like we just entered the Garden of Eden.
Oh my god,
And-
Xanadu, bro.
Like how well kept this garden was mind blowing. Not a dead leaf on the ground because they had people there whose job it was to pick the dead leaves off the ground. So
maintain,
the entire place looked pristine 24/7. And
It was like something out of Narcos. It's like you just,
Yeah.
it was like you walked into like a Colombian drug lord's like plantation.
really had those vibes.
Yeah. 15-foot walls. But it was so gorgeous. So gorgeous.
Yeah.
So serene and peaceful.
The grass was like carpet, and it was like a kind of grass that you knew it didn't really need to ever be mowed.
It probably wasn't native to there. So it's like they brought it in or something.
So, and that was where like the experimental started becoming evident. Was you could tell which ones were the experimental trees because they had white paint on their trunks, and it's like these trees are supposed to be here. And if
They had signage.
yeah, and if they didn't have white paint on their trunks, it might have just been a tree that was there, or it's going to be destroyed at some point in time if we need to make room for more trees.
Well, he was telling us that they have them there, for the beauty to grow that, but like anything that fruits, they give to their employees.
Yeah, they actually had an entire garden, like fruit and vegetable garden that was set off to the side, which was for the employees. And they would have signs that not only said what the tree was, but the kind of soil that they had and where the soil came from, because they would change all these different variables. Not only are they going to be changing how much water and nutrients they get, but they're going to change the entire soil composition around this thing. And they might have 3, 4, 5 variables going at one time. And once again, in the middle of this beautiful garden, there was a table set up, and it was time to be received and to have tea.
And have some excellent. Remember the snacks?
Yeah.
We had
Yeah,
dokla.
Oh my God.
We had some great food.
PK had the best snacks.
PK had some snacks.
And he had a servant, and he was just like, telling his servant, like, it's time. And he would bring out the drinks first. Like, there was a cadence to everything that this guy brought out to the table. First, it was the chai, the drinks, and the water, and coconut water.
Yes.
And then he would come through with, like, little, like, nuts and stuff and some dried fruits. And then he would come through with, like, these other elaborate snacks that I had no idea what they
They
were.
were like cookies and cakes and stuff.
I think, Liz, you may have asked for a Diet Coke. Is that?
Yeah,
and he came out with like 4. Like the thing is, like, it's even though you asked for it, it's like, no, like, we're gonna get.
We
There's
all
4
got
of them.
one, yeah.
Everyone gets one.
It comes, it's literally on a platter, like a silver tray.
Yeah.
Like he was serving it. And keep in mind, we're in the middle of like a garden.
Yeah.
There's not like it's not like a restaurant.
It's like a botanical garden,
Yeah.
like a local town garden.
Where is this? Where are you keeping it? I don't know. But this guy shows up and he's got a tray and he's
like-
just serving us stuff.
It's like Jeeves.
It's like we weren't expecting a snack right now.
That was a great snack.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was the one time I like.
we didn't even expect
totally
to sit
leaned
down. I thought we were gonna walk around. Yeah, that's just the whole thing was
was
like
mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's like master planned, but we had no idea it was happening.
in. And it had bees.
Yeah,
You asked because
well-
you started. You extrapolated. Like, wait a second.
Joey started prying
What did you? What was it that led you to deduce?
because it's a
Yeah,
garden.
fruit trees.
There it is.
He had a lot of fruit trees, and the only way that those things are going to reproduce is if there's bees. And there was a point where I'm like, okay, you've got mangoes, you've got chiku, you've got all these different things. You've got grapefruits. Like he's got so many different plants and stuff, and like, we're probably not even supposed to talk about some of the stuff they add because those are products that are in development that haven't hit the market yet that they're working on. But I was like, where are your bees? And he's like, oh, we've got bees. And I was like, I bet you do, because you're in the middle of the fucking brick district out here. Like, you gotta have your own bees because they don't live in the fucking bricks. Like, I was just drawing those kinds of conclusions. Like, ain't no fucking bees around here, fella. You gotta have your own.
He was like, matter of fact, yes,
It's,
we have all these bees.
you have to, or none of the experiments will work. None of them will go to fruition.
It's just crazy the amount of infrastructure they had to build in the time. It probably took 25 years just to get one of those plants to get to be. Where
And
it
that's
was.
their family getaway. Like every weekend, they as a family get together there. They hang out there.
I'm sure they play badminton and croquet.
You saw
Yeah.
the kid
There's a
play
little play
set,
set, yeah.
and that was just like where the grandchild hangs out. It's a very unique experience to see someone's playground be an experimental farm on the phone call with
You know
Dr.
how
Anand.
jealous I am.
Yeah,
Like,
that's like Joey's.
Yeah,
like,
you were jealous
that's
before
what
you
I
saw
want.
it.
Yeah,
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Joey's.
Oh yeah.
This is Joey's dream.
And they had like a little observation deck. Like you
Yeah.
we go up the stairs to the top, and you can overlook like the entire experimental garden. But one of the things that was like
The garden's like several acres, by the way. It's not like this small little thing. It's a huge garden.
Garden of Eden, like
Yeah.
and with a wall,
It's like
that you can be
it's like
cast out
20
of.
acres. It's not a little thing, and the entire thing is manicured.
Manicured, labeled, like it's like a museum of plants, which is just the most remarkable thing. And that's like I want to create a spectacle like that here in the United States.
Yeah.
Like if there was like an experimental garden here where you could walk through and see all these plants like perfectly labeled and like talk about the different variables and stuff that are going on, where it's like somewhere between like a museum and a botanical garden with purpose, like that it's not just, this is a fig tree. No, we're taking these figs. We've got wasps that are on site because you can't reproduce a fig without having wasps, and we are playing with different variables to increase the polyphenol content of figs. Like having a purpose that's like a whole chain of things that goes like into some deeper science where it's not just food, but it's like looking at how our body interacts with that food. Like I'd love to have something like that here.
Yeah, I love how he was just so matter of fact. He's like, "Yep." We were like, "No. This is incredible." He was like, "Yeah, this is where we do it." I'm like, "No, like you've had a whole generation of work put into doing this, and we're here and seeing it. And to you, it's just like, yeah, that's one of our trees."
But how often do those guys show that kind of stuff off?
Well, I mean, that dude
Like-
was definitely like a flex. Like that was that whole experience with that guy was like
Total flex.
total flex.
But you see, I think your
But no one's ever asked him to flex.
nobody.
No, he didn't act
Nobody.
like it. He was just so He was just so nuanced and matter of fact. He's like, I'm just gonna show you some stuff. He's
Where's
gangster, dude. It was the most gangster shit ever. When I left that whole experience with PK, I was like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That guy is a bad. He didn't say. He was quiet. He was humble. He didn't say anything boisterous, but he was just like dressed nice stuff, amazing company, totally humble. Came in, let us just like, showed us everything. It was just like, thank you, and just dropped us off at the airport.
Yeah.
No, there's so much more.
He bought Joey a pretty sweet suit.
Yeah, he bought Joey his suit, which wasn't inexpensive.
So before we get to that, I want to bring up something that was like the most controversial point that is not to be overlooked is those guys make all the wall scene. That Alpha Yohimbi that is like in so many different pre-workouts, those guys started that whole trend. And we met with some guys the night before. So this was after our 10-hour drive. Uday is like, Joey, you got to come talk to these guys downstairs. We got to have a meeting. And I was like, oh, fuck.
It's literally like 11 p.m.
I'm cooked. And these guys showed up at 11 p.m. wanting to talk to me and Uday about like their strategy and what they're doing as a company and everything. And it turns out like these guys were also making Alpha Yohimbi. But then I knew that there's a third party, another guy also makes Alpha Yohimbi that used to work for PK, but then spun off of PK, started making his own Alpha Yohimbi, and started undercutting PK's price by like 60%. Like just trying to cut the legs out of their entire business because it's so prolific in pre-workouts. And we're not talking something cheap. This is something that ranges from about $3,500 to $7,000 a kilo. Mm-hmm. So like there's a pretty good range on it. And these guys that we met the night before were currently being sued because they made Alpha Yohimbi and PK's got the patents on it. So like he is the G when it comes to making Alpha Yohimbi.
His daughter's the patent lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he told us.
And the thing is like, it's so prolific in all of our pre-workouts that we have right now. And all of it comes from India because the only people who know how to make it came from India. They either came from Chorizo, which is Chemical Resource Group, which is PK's company, or they were spinoffs. So they come from these other companies. So the guys we met the night before were getting sued by the guy that we met the day after. And I really wanted to bring it up because like this is a thing like that a lot of people are dealing with. And it hasn't stopped a lot of these like spin-off guys from selling Alpha Yohimbi. But there's even more to it than that because like Dr. Anand and PK and those guys at Chemical Resources and CFAM control the market of Alpha Yohimbi when it comes to being available inside of GNC corporate. Because once upon a time, I did not know of this Mexican standoff of intellectual property that was going on. And I bought it from this guy named Rakesh, who was the guy who spun off from PK's facility because it was a better deal. But his material came from leaves and PK's material came from roots. But if I wanted to start using Alpha Yohimbi inside the walls of GNC corporate, I would have to change my material that's $3,500 a kilo coming from Rakesh that comes from leaves to a $7,000 raw material over here that comes from roots. It's the same chemical, but only one of them, the root kind, has like the generally recognized as safe status that gets you into GNC and that's approved by GNC. So I had to make that switch. And then I find out through talking to my sales rep, Kelly, over at CFAM, that there's this whole controversy even going on. And he's like, who have you been talking to? I'm like, I've been talking to Rakesh over at Archem. And he's like, well, fuck those guys. They came from us and like they've been starting to sell it really cheap and it's been a real problem. I'm like, look, dude, I'll buy your stuff. I just need to get back into GNC. And I kind of brought this up to Uday the night before. I'm like, you don't know how big this is. And then the next day we met with PK at this secret botanical garden thing. And he's like the ringleader who's suing both of these guys. And his daughter's the IP lawyer. And I think they're going to win those cases because that is where it all started. And then he takes us to the chemical manufacturing facility. So we leave the garden and we go to the place where the wall scene is born. And this is when you roll up on one of these chemical manufacturing sites in India, you don't expect it to be there because all these buildings are built in this 3x3 9 block of buildings, and it could be a tattoo parlor, and it could be a place you get your hair cut, and it could be a place where you get some food, and it could be another place that sells cell phones, and then like all these different merchants in this block of 9. But they purchased a large swath of their block of 9, and maybe even another large swath of the block of 9 next to them. And it's a lot of stairs, like you go up and over and down and under. And this whole chemical manufacturing facility was engineered and designed by PK. And it's a solvent extraction facility. So what they do is they add acids to it, they add bases to it, they do all this other stuff, and they transform plant material into like high potency ingredients. So we got to see that part, and then we went to the mall.
It's like
after.
It's like a whole.
But we didn't go to the mall after. We go to his house.
Yeah, he did show us his house, which is incredible.
It's
Which
really
is probably too personal to talk about, but like,
it's baller.
what a flex.
Yeah.
Dude, he did that
Yeah.
intentionally.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to show you my house.
But I think like that's like one of those things where he's worked so hard to build up.
He had
what
every
he did.
reason to show that thing off.
That's what his pride in.
What
he was
a
so
beautiful
proud
home
that
that
was his
guy had.
home.
Yeah.
And I think like
Let me put it in context. If that house was in Miami, it'd be one of the most expensive houses in the United States.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful home.
But it's a big deal for a desi to invite people into their home.
yeah.
So like, he was really
His furniture was incredible. Oh my God.
yeah.
So modern.
The city
wait,
room?
no, not that. That was shiny.
Yeah. He had like this, where did he say it was made at? It was like,
Silver.
yeah, it was something about it. It was,
Right.
It looked
Yeah.
expensive.
There was Game of Thrones vibes in there.
And then after that, we went to the mall, which was surprising because I didn't
5
expect.
stories.
I didn't expect the mall to be that
Was
nice.
it just 5 stories? It looked like it might have been bigger than that.
I counted 5.
It was as good as
This
any
is a
Galleria.
This is the mall in Chandigarh. Like this was a massive place. It had the
Popeyes.
which
Yeah.
you didn't get to. You could have used the Popeyes when it was there, and then
I just wonder, as an Indian, seeing Popeyes Louisiana chicken and what kind of appeal that might have to you.
well, it's Indianized, you know that.
remember when you got to Mumbai airport, you saw was it New York burrito and California
was-
burrito.
I thought
It's
that
got
was
like a
stupid.
masala fucking sauce or something like that.
Yeah,
We did the shopping, which PK like escorted us for whatever reason. I thought he was just gonna like drop us off. I'm like, just drop us off. We'll find an Uber back to the airport.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I'm coming with you. And I was like,
He was with us the
You
whole
don't
time.
have to like go shopping. We're just gonna go fuck off. Like we're not working anymore. We're just fucking having fun and being tourists now. And he's like, no, I'm coming.
hospitality, baby.
Yeah. So he walks us to the mall, up all these. Again, this is as modern and nice of any mall you've ever been to. Think of the nicest mall you've been to, and then make it nicer. That's this mall, packed, absolutely packed to the nines. Stores are packed. People are walking everywhere. They don't do that in America anymore. No. Our malls are all dead. No. This one's packed. And we go to the traditional Indian garb store because that's what we asked for. We were like, we want to go buy some traditional Indian like wedding attire. And I remember because I went to like the like sort of cheaper side at first. I was like, I just want something simple.
Yeah.
I want something casual. I'm just gonna buy something for like whatever, a couple bucks, and say I did it. For the experience. And so I go and change and get into this outfit. And it's okay.
Yeah, you'd put on what we call a traditional kurta. It was just your traditional, layman's
Like lounge
traditional
wear.
clothes. Yeah, very
Yeah.
chilled out.
Not me.
And Joey is perusing like the wedding side.
I went to the shiniest shit I could find in that store.
And Uday's like gassing him up.
Oh, dude.
Uday was like, look, this is like, this guy's like Elon Musk kind of dude. He needs,
Well, I called him Ranveer Singh.
which is like a famous,
Ranveer Singh is an actor that his entire aura invokes. It's like this totally out of almost just Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is like a crazy, awesome character.
Yeah.
Ranveer Singh is the kind of guy I was like, put him in something Ranveer would wear. And that guy, the sales guy, man, he was on a mission.
Yeah, he lit up.
Found you like every time he would try to like,
It was like I had a personal stylist.
yeah.
Well, the thing is he came and brought that to you, and you put it on, and you look like a Russian oligarch. Like, I was like, oh, this guy looks like the Sultan of Sin. Like, this guy is going to buy your whole family and put you into, imprison you into slavery for the rest of your life. Like, that's what you had, like a sinister, like, I own everything look to you.
But he had tried to put you in some like plain, like they want to put you back in a box. There's
like,
something.
no.
I was like, no.
Uday was like, I need you to get the most bad motherfucking thing. He needs to look like he owns his own submarine. Like he has his own, army, and he has like a switchboard with bombs.
He hit it out of the park, man.
Oh, he did.
He brought that to you, and I looked at you. I was like, and I looked at me. I was like, what the fuck?
No.
I was
leveled
like,
up.
He can't wear that. And I'm like, I don't know how much that costs. And I'm like, I bet. I thought that what I got was probably, I didn't know what they didn't have price tags on anything. So I was like, I don't know, you know? But after looking at Joey, I was like, there's no way he's walking out of this building wearing that, and I'm wearing this. And you were gassing me up, and you were gassing up all the people in the store.
Oh, yeah.
Like trying to get them to be like, hey, how does he look? He looks great, right?
There's a lady who worked there that thought we were the stupidest people ever to walk in that
There was
store.
that one lady who was like trying to get her kid, her husband dressed for their wedding or something like that. And Joey just completely took all of the energy. Like they're there doing this special shopping occasion for the husband, and Joey walks out looking like an oligarch, and this guy all of a sudden's like,
Well, I ended up asking. I sought some opinions. I said, "Hey, listen, what do you think about this, that, whatever?" And she was like, "Well, you can't go. You can't go to a wedding." I'm like, they're not going to a wedding. They're just going to wear this."
they were so confused.
I think you used the like as girls were just chatting thing to her too.
Oh, did I?
I think you.
I don't
you
even
said
know.
Something like
well,
along those lines to break her down.
So this is a very interesting thing. So you saw a lot of different females, a lot of different type of female archetypes in India. That woman that was in that store is the Indian woman across all generations. Like that is the grandma, that's the mom. Like it doesn't matter. Like whether she's got a PhD or she does, but that's the woman that runs the house.
She's kind of a matriarch sort of vibe.
She's in charge.
Oh, yeah, she wore the pants.
She wore the pants. She didn't just wear the pants. She made sure, like, excuse me, sir, my husband needs to change quickly. Can you please clear out the fitting room?
She asked me that.
Right. And so like this is a person that's a traditional Indian woman, and she was like in her early 30s. Like this was not, but it's just like we're in their social element.
But
Like,
she kind of seemed like she was high class.
Yeah.
Right. Like
And
I got money here.
And she was kind of looking down at us like, like, oh, look at us playing around. Like we're just going to play dress up.
Yeah.
But not understanding that we actually are going to blow up like wedding gear and to make it casual wear.
Well,
Like,
yeah, she did. She had no idea the context. But the funny thing about us is we were like, we're just mall shopping, and we're here to spend. We don't care. Amount of money, and I had no idea about the PK thing because I did not know he was anticipating buying this stuff for us.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't expect that either.
So
He bought mine as well.
Yeah.
When we went.
He offered to buy me one. I was like, homie, I got a lot, and I would love to take you up on this offer. There's a lot of good stuff in here, but
I was just shopping with no budget, and I was like, I don't know how much this shit costs.
Yeah.
And we were just picking out the best stuff they have there, probably the most expensive shit they have there, completely shitting on this like lady and her husband getting dressed. Like it's supposed to be their moment, and we're just like making fun of it.
yeah.
And we're like, we're just going to walk in and buy a fucking $1,000 worth of fucking suits. Again, I did not expect him to pay for that.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I got it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Incredibly gracious.
I was like, dude, no, we didn't. No, that was, we never talked about that. And I don't, and he was just like, no, I have to buy it. I bought mine because I went and swiped my card before he wasn't there. He was buying your stuff at the time, Liz. And so when he came back, he's like, you already bought it. I was like, yeah. He was like, he went to the clerk. He was like, refund that man his money. He told him that. Yeah. And I was like, no, dude, don't worry about it, man. Like, I got it. And he was like, no, refund his money on that transaction right now because I want to pay for it. And then they're like, oh, we can't do that. And then he was just like so distraught.
Yeah.
He was like so hurt by that. And then he bought Joey's. And I was like, you didn't have to do that. I don't think Joey was even anticipating him buying. Were you?
No, I was totally planning on buying my own, and it just like surprised me. And I'm like, oh man, thanks, PK.
Again, we didn't look at the price. On
It's
anything.
like I think I bought enough for Wallacine for me to probably justify.
Yeah.
And I remember asking you guys, like, are you guys prepared to go home in some Indian garb? Because I was like, I could see you guys, and I had always seen you guys, all of you, just wearing the most elegant Indian wear and just playing it like so cash and so cool.
Dude,
and
that
you
shit's
overdid
awesome.
it.
I want to wear it everywhere. I'm not gonna lie. That
that
stuff's
footage-
bad fucking ass.
You look like an evangelical Christian cult leader.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, you look-
yeah. He's a Russian oligarch. I'm a Christian evangelical cult leader.
No, these are definitely Tarantino.
Perfect pair.
Tarantino characters without that. So one of the
Yeah.
funniest observations I think out of this
You
event.
feel so badass wearing it.
It's
though.
the best suit I have.
Yeah.
so when we were,
And I've got a lot of crazy suits.
you have a lot of different crazy suits, and what's crazy about what happened was at the end of the transactions, you noticed the husband kind of.
He was rethinking.
He was
He was
kinda looking.
rethinking.
He was like, wait, who's giving me some love? Like, you know, because
Yeah.
I just really loved watching you guys kind of like lean into this again, like playing dress up with like Indian clothes. Like that was crazy. Like that wasn't supposed to be as fun as it
Shoes
was.
and everything.
Yeah.
You found matching shoes, and you know we even tried. I think you also got a dhoti.
Yeah.
You had like you have the pants, and then you also have the traditional
Aladdin pants.
the Latin pants, the Aladdin pants, and like just playing outside the scope of like our comfort zone and just messing around. Like this was like this was like part of the fun. But then this
Yeah.
poor guy was just kind of like there with his wife, his very very like pretty strong armed wife.
Yeah, we definitely
He just
sucked.
wanted some love. Like he
We
could have used a
sucked
buddy.
out all of his aura.
Yeah, there was
And
no aura left
we
there.
farmed all of his aura, and we sucked it up and ate it for our own essence. And everyone in the store wanted to help us.
Yeah.
They were like, these guys are buying shit. We're definitely like helping. And like, poor dude was like, does anyone like mine?
Yeah, yeah. But he was wearing the most boring traditional color that everyone wears. And
Yeah.
like, you know, you guys were willing to, even like when you put
Yours
on.
is pink and mine is purple.
Yeah.
Like,
Badass.
Yeah. It was so dope,
So
man.
bejeweled. I love that thing. I just want an excuse to wear it.
Yeah, we're going to end up having events, man. And I think like when it starts
How
coming.
many people have asked me about that? Just
Yeah.
from the pictures I put on Instagram, like, hey, did you get that? Did you bring it back home? Like they want us to wear it again.
we got to find a place to do it.
Yeah. So it's just crazy.
So
the whole experience was awesome.
I know as we're about to wrap up and I'm winding things down. One of the things that left me in awe of this trip was how much you guys helped me see India again, like through like a first lens. Like that's something that can't be like I've been going back so many times. Even I sometimes maybe get a little acclimated to.
It was so fun, man.
So I saw
It
things
was so
again
much
for the first
fun.
time, and even like you wanted to see the cows, just like wanting to see the cows. And like one of the things I remember was when I started going to India, there were more cows on the street, and like they've slowly found a way to solve that problem. There was more dogs on the street. One of the things that you noticed was the breed of dogs.
They all look the same.
They all look the same. And like these observations, like so real uncanny things that in the past I probably noticed and you know over time you lose sight of. And so I think, you know, I thank you guys for being able to show me India again, like through innocent eyes. And there's still a lot more to do there, but
No,
it takes
I want to go back. Like I
Yeah.
said, like when I came back, I was like bored. I was
Yeah.
like, I made the
There's
analogy.
not as much thrill because there's not as much chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. There's no
the
chaos.
analogy I had is like the U.S. is like the Matrix. Like everything's structured. Everyone's walking in these lanes. Everyone's wearing these suits. Like you're in this world that's prefabricated by somebody else for you to exist in and play by the boundaries of these rules. And India is like waking up in the Nebuchadnezzar where it's the real life, but everything is shit. And so you're like,
But you can do anything.
but you can do anything. And yeah, it was like this metaphysical, psychological, spiritual thing that has happened to me now where like I think I see world through a different lens. And so I needed that.
Yeah.
And I'm so ready to go do more now.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Well-
like, this is what I want to do with my life. It's
Yeah.
like clicked to me. This is what I want to do with my life now. because I didn't know that existed.
Right.
It just shows up on your phone. You know, when you go there, you got to go there.
Well, I mean, like you said, India, you go to places like that and it does change you a little bit. Like, it might not be like, holy crap, I'm a totally different person, but a little bit of you appreciates what you have, but it misses that chaos and where you were. I miss India as well. And whenever we first landed in Mumbai, I was like, oh my God, get me out of Mumbai.
Yeah.
And now when we went back to Mumbai at the end, I was like, oh, I get it now. Like I get the chaos a little bit. I get the what's happening, because it's like it's like a chaos ballet.
Yeah.
Like a beautiful chaos ballet that you appreciate when you step away from it.
Yeah, you kind of get addicted to it. And
You fall in love with the people.
Yeah.
Although, you know, I think my pet peeve is the lack of civic sense and civic responsibility that gets under my.
you just got to get used
Skin.
to it, I guess. It's
Just
like
the
you
way it
said.
is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah.
just deal with it. You have an agenda. You have an objective. Like
Yeah,
you
gotta,
go there
gotta
with
squirt your butt with a hose. Like there's so many things that
yeah,
are different, but that's what makes it fun.
exactly.
So if you can embrace that, then like you're going to be okay.
Yeah, the
You
way
know-
you guys leaned into it, and I also think that plays well.
You can't lean against it. The place doesn't allow you to.
Well, like what you do on a day-to-day basis is like you come up with solutions that have yet to been conceived.
Yeah.
You're looking at a screen. I saw you guys just playing around with negative space. You guys like just talked your way through, and then like before we started this, you had now something sitting there on the screen. You're gonna go back and look at it, but how quickly it didn't look like it was going anywhere. I'm watching you guys do this. I'm like watching you guys play, and like you guys applied that same tactic to being in India for 9 days, and I can tell you that I thought I had a crazy chilled out agenda. But what I recognized was if you don't bring that willingness to just do the real hard work, like be willing to listen to bad presentations and just after a long journey, have another meeting. Like I had to, I'm apologetic. I'm like, Joey, got a couple of guys that just want a piece, just want a piece of you.
It ended up being juicy.
It ended up being juicy. And like, but it's just like that's the part of it that is the nuance part of it. Like, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, let's do it.
You had to make the most of those hours, man. And we made the most out of them.
You definitely did.
Yeah.
You definitely maxed out. I think one of the best things about that trip was, as you guys were going away, my wife knows. I sent footage of like, you know, you guys are leaving, and I'm watching. My camera was able to catch his mohawk, and it's just watching. It's going through, and I was like, oh, let me see how far I can follow this. And I have like 2.5 minutes of me basically saying bye to you guys.
That's not creepy.
Yeah, well, it was definitely creepy. My wife's like, "You okay? You gonna be all right?" I'm like, "I don't know." I was like, I get attached real quick, and like that's the desi in me. Like,
Yeah.
you fall in love real fast. We fall in love real fast, but on a transactional side, like you want to do business with people like that. Like I want to do business with people that want to fall in love, like hopeless romantics. Like
Yeah.
PK's a freaking Don.
Yeah.
But
So's Ravi.
Bobby's a Don. These
gangsters.
guys are Dons, gangsters, and they don't run into people like us enough. And so I think we are a fresh dose of like, hey, we should encourage as many of our partners, as many of our serious, respected brands. We should be like, gotta get, like, I definitely want to get Mark Glazer on a Harley tour or a Enfield tour across Gujarat.
How cool would that be?
If he was there with you guys, man, what we could do. I mean, I've never
I feel
rode
like he
a
would
chopper.
soak it up.
Oh, he would have his mind blown.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. So
But
I
you can't lean against it. You got to lean into it. If you lean against it, it's going to suck.
But if you get a guy like that who shows up with a serious brand and a serious attitude on like how to have fun in life and how to, like, you suddenly see like, wow, you can do that in India,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
game changer when
Yeah.
the right people show up and change the narrative.
She's
And
basically like a king. Treat
So-
you like a king.
so that was fun, man. That was a great trip.
Uday, where can they find you online?
I am where am I?
You go beyond.
I'm at yougobeyond.com, www.yougobeyond.com. We are actually going to be working on some pretty cool things with you guys. I know that that's coming in the next several months, and look out for us. You Go Beyond is here to service any of your interests in India, and whether it's just if you need guidance, if you need actual assistance with products, or if you just need friends. You Go Beyond. I Go Beyond. You Go Beyond.
And we're out.